Welcome inside Red Wilson Field. Zach Surdenik alongside Venezia and Destiny Sanchez. Falmouth Commodores taking on the Whitey Red Sox. And quickly, before we get things started, let's send it over to Destiny Sanchez.
Thanks, Zach. A little bit about the Doors starting pitcher tonight. Carson Montgomery out of Florida State. He pitched 16 games with 9 starts. Started once for Falmouth last year. Falmouth in 4 innings pitched with no runs and 4 strikeouts. His first outing for Falmouth this year was also a start against Bourne. He pitched 2.1 innings in relief at home and totaled a 3.86 ERA. So it should be interesting to see him on the road.
Thank you, Destiny. We'll be on the lookout for him in the bottom half of the inning. It's Cal Stephen on the mound for YD, taking on this Commodores lineup that starts with Joe Redfield. The first pitch was a fastball that missed at 444 on this Father's Day. Fastball at the knees evens things. It's 1-1. This lineup for Falmouth, it's Joe Redfield, Kyle DeBarge, and Charlie Condon starting things off. Jace Lavalette, Walker Yannick, and Deuce Gorson. The middle part of the order, John Spikerman, Nate Humphreys, Gavin Keelan round things out. 1-1 breaking ball hit on the ground right side. Fielded on a hop by Hines. He'll flip to Steven. 1 up, 1 down in the top of the first.
Yeah, 1-1 count, looking to get something there, and just drilled right to the first baseman. A nice easy play for Hunter Hines. We saw these Whitey Red Sox the other day. Tough loss at home. Trying to return the favor here are the Doors.
Brings up Kyle DeBarge. He's at shortstop today after making his Commodores debut at third base in the win over Brewster. Cal Stephen, the righty out of Purdue, works first base side in the windup. Righty goes into the motion. First pitch is a fastball for a called strike. 4-pitch mix for Stephen on the mound. 2 different fastballs, the 4-seam and the 2-seam. Also has the circle change and then that slider that has a little more downward motion than sweeping motion from it. Righty lifts the leg, the 0-1. Shot foul down the third base side. Stephen quickly ahead 0-2 to Kyle DeBarge.
A nice breaking ball there from Cal to get him out in front. 7-4, 5.21 ERA and 76 innings of work out of there in the Big Ten with Purdue. Tall righty. Got the long hair, too. Good stature with a lot of scouts in here to see him pitch.
Holds the glove at the belt as he goes into the windup. The 0-2, fastball high and tight. DeBarge lays off it. 1-2 count now. Infield, deep across the diamond. Playing DeBarge pretty much straight up. Slightly open stance from the right side. Waves the bat around as Stephen gets the sign. Now holds the hands high over the shoulder. The 1-2. Fastball. Strike 3 called. Jeff Merzel rings up Kyle DeBarge. And just like that, 2 quick outs on the mound for Cal Stephen.
Yeah, it's a fastball off the plate. Looked like just kind of painting the outside for DeBarge. So looking for him to pick up a base hit here in his Commodores youth. Was in the lineup, as you mentioned, against Brewster. Good to see these new guys coming in over here to the Cape League and stepping in for the Doors.
Brings up Charlie Condon. Had a grand slam the last time these two teams met. Fouls back a fastball to the screen. It's 0-1.
I like the Doors swinging early here in these counts, trying to get on a pitch. Say the fastball there, at least that's what Charlie was trying to get on, sending it straight back to the screen.
Stephen, a couple of shakes off of Stafford behind the plate. Righty delivers the 0-1. Line drive right to the shortstop. Vieira catches it in his tracks, and the Commodores go 1-2-3 in the top of the first. Carson Montgomery to the mound on the other side of the break. You are listening to Falmouth Commodores Baseball. Quickly, the bottom of the first here on this Sunday evening in Yarmouth at Red Wilson Field. Carson Montgomery taking the bump, his second start to this point in the summer for Falmouth. And Matt Venezia, you got the lowdown on Mr. Montgomery.
Well, yeah, Carson's going to help try to get this staff kind of going. Falmouth right at the tippy top in terms of strikeouts as a pitching staff up to this point in the Young Cape season. But Montgomery, we saw him against Bourne. Destiny kind of told you a little bit of his rundown. But the righty's got it, man. He's got the stuff. A lot of guys are here to see him pitch. I'm excited for what Montgomery's got today, going up against the best offense in the Cape League, Zach. It won't be easy, but he's going to have to use every one of those 4 to 5 pitches he likes to go to in that bag of tricks that he has. Rocking number 4, get a new backstop back there with Walker Janik. I'm excited. Janik's going to be a real good guy, big experience as a veteran. Let's see what these two guys are going to do together. It should be very interesting to see how out of Sam Houston State, what Walker's capable of, and then you got a big power arm in the ACC in Carson Montgomery.
Speaking of the ACC, it's a UNC Tar Heel. Casey Cook leading things off. He's followed by Anthony Martinez and Max Vieira at the top of the order. Hunter Hines, Ryan Stafford, Xander Darby at the middle part. Jacob Jenkins-Coward out of ECU making his debut in the 7th spot. Brady Day and Enzo Apodaca. First pitch is a fastball from Montgomery that sails high, and it's 1-0. 4-seam fastball, a sinker, a cutter, a slider, and a changeup for Montgomery. Works first base side in the windup. The 1-0 is another fastball high and outside. It's quickly 2-0.
And Casey Cook, you look back at the last time these two teams faced, had himself a solid day, 1 for 5, the bases clearing double. That was part of that ugly 8th inning.
2-0, popped foul, and that'll get into the seats. There's no fencing down either side here, and so a lot of open area and a lot of seats lined up on this Father's Day here on the Cape. The 2-1 from Montgomery is high and outside, and it's quickly 3-1.
Yeah, fastball just ran away there. Up and away here to Casey Cook. Immediately, Carson going, my bad, to Walker.
7 left-handed hitters in this YG lineup against the righty Montgomery. 3-1 hit hard, fielded on a hop in shallow right field by Gavin Keelan. Flips on to Condon at first. And Montgomery picks up and out from behind in the count and 1 away.
Well, you like to see that. You like to see the transition for Keelan. The middle infielders are interchangeable. He's now playing second base. We'll tell you about the rest of the defensive alignment in a second. But it's good to see Gavin get involved quickly, makes a play in the hole on his arm side. Good first out.
Speaking of that defensive alignment, Lavalette, Spikerman, and Redfield, the outfield. Anthony Martinez steps in, takes the pitch high. Designated hitter out of UC Irvine for the Red Sox. Finish up that defensive alignment, though. The infield, Deuce Gorson making his Commodore debut at third. Kyle DeBarge at short. Keelan at second. Fastball fouled back, evens the count at 1-1. Charlie Condon, the mainstay over at first base, and Walker Janik making his debut in a Commodores uniform behind the plate. 1-1 count to Martinez. The anteater from UC Irvine stands from the left side. 1-1, fastball fouled back to the screen, and it's quickly 1-2. The home whites for YD, the Boston Red Sox style uniforms. Words Red Sox across the chest in red. Red numbers on the back with the navy blue accents. Montgomery delivers the 1-2. Is the slider, stays high and outside. Looked like he didn't get a great grip on it as it never came back.
Not at all, partner. It looked like that one just got away. Got to find a feel for what you like through the early parts, but you got to be careful. If you're going to miss, do it like that and put it nowhere near.
2-2, foul back out of play. Another 2-2 upcoming. 3 men on the right side of the infield for Falmouth. A big shift against Martinez at the plate. The big lefty digs himself back in. Montgomery gets the sign. High left kick and a foul ball once again. Everything going right back to the screen here in this battle.
But I like it, though. Montgomery, that 2-1 breaking ball that never broke at all. He's come back with 2 consecutive here on the inner part of the plate. And he's gotten 2 fouls. I like his working now.
The break even. High and outside, and the count runs full. Second straight YD hitter that's worked a 3-ball count. This YD team leads the CCBL in almost every offensive category, but they walk the least of any team on the Cape. 3-2, fastball, fouled back out of play.
The good 20-year-old right-hander in Carson Montgomery getting ready to enter his 4th year at Florida State. Let's see how he works, how he's able to come back after all these foul balls consecutively.
The 9th pitch of the at-bat is a slider that misses outside, And Anthony Martinez works a walk, a one-out base runner for YD here in the bottom of the first.
I just lost him there on the fastball. The previous couple that he had thrown really weren't all that tempting. You got to make the hitter think, and in that case, it's Anthony Martinez who swings the bat a lot. 619 slug, drove in 60. He's not afraid to swing the baseball bat, and he really only had to do it on those breaking balls that kind of come into his swing path a little bit, Zach.
Three-step lead off the bag at first, being held on by Condon. It's now Max Vieira, first right-handed hitter to face Montgomery, and a called strike on a first pitch fastball that catches the outer third. It's quickly 0-1. Cloudy night here, about 65 degrees at Red Wilson Field, but a good night for baseball, especially compared to yesterday. Montgomery from the stretch delivers slider for a called strike at the knees, and it's quickly 0-2.
Yeah, good time to see Montgomery figure it out a little bit against the third best hitter on the Cape this season, Vieira. 444 on the average right there, and third at the tippy top of the league.
The 0-2 hit hard into right field, and Vieira finds a hit anyways. Martinez being held up at second, and an 0-2 single for Max Vieira, his 13th hit of the summer already, and 2 aboard with 1 away.
Puts it the opposite way. I mean, if you're going to get beat on a knock, you like to see it go that way, just a little late on the baseball. But they say when you hit it the opposite way, you're locked in, and there's not many people better than him maybe in terms of being locked in so far on the Cape. You hate to see that, though, in an 0-2 to get beat that way if you're Montgomery. Bear down a little bit here, though. Try to find a way out.
Whitey had 17 hits the last time these two teams met back at Gov Fuller Field. They're picking up right where they left off.
I haven't forgotten, partner.
First pitch off speed to Hunter Hines. The changeup misses low and outside. It's 1-0. Hines out of Mississippi State. He's had himself a pretty good start to the summer as well. Walker Yannick will go out to talk with Carson Montgomery, make sure they're all good to go. A 1-0 count awaits Hines.
Really quick meeting, though. Got to wonder if maybe there was some sort of confusion. I don't know if cross-up's the way to put it, but it was just a quick, maybe, I don't know, pat on the back. If anything else, that was a very, very quick discussion.
DeBarge holding on the runner at second. Shifted a few steps towards the right side. Hines puts a charge into one, out to right, going back, looking up, and it's gone. A 1-0 fastball deposited over the right field fence by Hunter Hines, and YD very quickly in front 3-0.
Gave him the heat. Behind in the count. It's happened a couple times already through the first 4 batters that Montgomery's faced, and that's a problem when Hunter Hines comes in and you give him an opportunity to do that. Bring in base runners. That's what he does best. Hines with a no-doubter on his pull side, and that's tough. Early deficit already. That's his second home run on the Cape this season.
It is, and it's his 10th RBI. The last one is. He gets him to 10. He now has the lead by himself. First pitch breaking ball misses to Ryan Stafford. And it's 1-0. Stafford, catcher out of Cal Poly. Righty-righty matchup. 1-0. Line drive, base hit into left. Already 3 hits for YD. These guys just rake.
Yeah, that was a barrel right there. Pretty much deposited right on impact out there to short left on a line. Lavalette making the play on a hop. I mean, that's just, if there was ever a team that was locked in and you look at the paper and see that, they're showing you why right now. And right now, Mike Landry's going to go have a discussion with his right-hander. Not the anticipated start for the righty out of Florida State.
It is not, and YD has continued to hit. I mean, you look at the stats for this team. They started 0-2, and since then have been locked in, picked up 4 straight wins, looking to make it 5 here tonight. They lead the league in hits, doubles, stolen bases, they're 4th, first in average, on-base percentage, slugging. The list goes on, and they are showing you why once again here in the first inning. 3 runs, 3 hits, 1 on, and still just 1 away. Casey Cook was retired on the ground ball to start things, and since then, 4 straight have reached for YD.
Yeah, no, they're seeing the baseball very, very well. The scouting report has proven true in terms of what these guys are capable of. And, you know, we're only on the 5th batter of the inning in Ryan Stafford. So Landry now heading back. If nothing else, just, all right, now let's settle down. You know, you give up the big bomb, fine, but now the bases are clear, but then you give up the base hit on the first pitch. So you really need to find a way to strand the base runner in Stafford and find a way here in this bottom half to get rid of him.
Xander Darby steps up, cuts on and misses the first pitch. It's 0-1. Another left-handed hitter. Got 4 straight of them to round out the order and then 2 more at the top. So 6 straight lefties will face Montgomery here. Rocks himself set in the stretch. Lifts the leg, fastball low, popped out of the glove of Yannick but kept it in front. 1-1 count with 1 away. The catcher Stafford at first base after that single. It was the 3-run homer from Hunter Hines that got things started for YD here in the bottom of the first. Deep breath from Montgomery. The 1-1, swing and a miss.
Yeah, really good there. Pulled the string, got a nice cut. Obviously won the matchup battle there. It didn't look like Darby was expecting that a lot. And I like seeing Walker Yannick nod as he throws the baseball back. The veteran trying to let his youngster know he's doing okay out there.
The 1-2 bounces in. Good dirt ball read from Stafford and no throw from Yannick. A wild pitch. And a runner in scoring position now for YD with 1 away.
Well, there is activity out in the pen from our, if I lean my seat back here and am able to see it, you'd really like to see Montgomery find a way through this inning here.
Especially as this is game 1 of a 9 games in 9 days stretch for Falmouth. You don't want to have to burn too much of the bullpen, but they do have a lot of fresh arms in the bullpen, a lot of new guys coming in and joining the roster over the last couple of days, waiting to make their debut. The 2-2. Fly ball, left field, sinking. Lavalette dives, and he'll make the play out in left.
I mean, it looked like Lavalette was kind of camping under it for a second, and then at the very last second said, hold on, I got to get on my horse here, lays out. I thought that was getting down, Zach, and no one is more happy about that one than Mr. Carson Montgomery walking back from foul territory, pointing at his left fielder from Texas A&M. What a play. But you still need one more out to escape the jam.
Dangerous hitter and Jacob Jenkins Coward stepping up. East Carolina Pirate bats from the left side, angles that bat over the left shoulder. First pitch swinging, fly ball out to deep center field. Spikerman back on it, and he'll make the catch right in front of the wall in center. Montgomery gets out of it, but the 3-run bomb from Hunter Hines starts things off well for YD. We head to the second, 3-0 Red Sox in front on the Commodores Radio Network. Top of the second inning from Red Wilson Field. 4-5-6 due up for Falmouth. A tough start for the Doors. It's 3-0 YD. The Hunter Hines 3-run blast got things started with a bang for the Red Sox, but Jace Lavalette leading off, trying to start a response for Falmouth.
Yeah, I mean, we saw a lot of these new guys in the game against Brewster, a nice 1-0 win for the Doors, but these new guys are certainly capable. It's time to see it. Only 2 hits between the new guys, and there were about 5 of them in the lineup last time out.
First pitch fastball from Cal Steven blows it by Jace Lavalette. Plenty of juice in that bat for Lavalette. Outstanding season this year with Texas A&M. 21 home runs, 63 RBIs. The wind and the 0-1 from Steven is a fastball at the knees for a called strike. That's firm coming out of his hand from that arm slot. Wide stance for Lavalette from the left side. Slightly open, holds the bat at an angle over that left shoulder. The righty Steven in the windup. The 0-2 is the changeup that fades low and away. Lavalette lays off it.
Yeah, nice job there by Chase. Talked to him during batting practice. This is a guy who said he was so close to going 20-20 this season with bombs and only had 18 stolen bases for a guy who stands 6'7". How often do you see that?
Not very often. 1-2, fastball sliced foul down the third base line. We'll do the 1-2 again, a major shift on for YD. The third baseman is playing at shortstop. Actually, the third baseman shifted over on the right side of the infield. It's Vieira standing at shortstop, the normal shortstop, and then Brady Day out in shallow right field. Against him, fastball runs in, and it evens the count 2-2.
Yeah, good take there. And it's funny, the defense remains put after seeing Lavalette slice that baseball in the previous pitch, the opposite way. Just about maybe 4 or 5 feet more to the right, and that one's down the line.
The 2-2 is a swing and a miss on a fastball in the dirt. Picked up by Stafford, flipped down to record the out. Second punch out for Steven and 2 away.
Lavalette remains looking for his first base hit here on the Cape through a little over a game now. But, again, it's about finding a way for these new guys to get swinging. Keep in mind, coming off regional and super regional action, they haven't swung in about a week or so, but relatively fresh. So wooden bats, all that kind of adjustments we saw earlier on from the old Commodores, that's kind of what they're experiencing now.
Walker Yannick steps in. First pitch is the slider that stays up and in. It's 1-0. Yannick out of Sam Houston State. A pair of Bearcats in the lineup today. Bats from the right side. Holds the hands close to the chest. The wind from Steven, the 1-0. Fastball pop foul out of play. Evens up the count 1-1. Looked like you hit somebody's car out there. Hopefully not one of ours, Matt.
No.
Well, it's definitely not yours.
Yeah, my car is not here on the Cape. We parked closer to the school, way in the back right corner, so it would take a really long foul ball effort to hit our vehicle.
1-1 is the breaking ball, and it drops off the table. Yannick comes up empty. Count now 1-2.
Way out in front of that one was Yannick. His numbers don't lie. 70 driven in this year at Sam Houston State. He's a bat that you and I have been talking about for a while, and now we get to see him swing it for the first time this season.
Steven looks comfortable up there on the mound. The 1-2. Swing and a miss. Went right back to it. And Yannick goes down swinging back-to-back punch-outs. Now there's 2 away here in the inning for Cal Steven and the Red Sox.
Yeah, good work there from Cal Steven. 2 straight breaking balls that drop off the table. Yannick way out in front of both of them. Just a tough at-bat there for the new backstop for the Commodores tonight. 3 strikeouts through 5 guys. Cal Steven is in his element right now.
Brings up Deuce Gorson. Step in, first pitch. Blows a fastball by him. Gorson listed as a right-handed hitter at UCLA, but he's hitting from the left side. Getting a little switch hit action here to start off the summer. Fastball low, evens up the count 1-1.
I mean, you and I are both looking at each other kind of crazy during batting practice.
He's listed as a left-handed hitter at UCLA. He's not listed as a left-handed hitter on the Falmouth roster.
Right, and maybe it could just be a mistake, but maybe he's a switch hitter. We'll see if there's a left-handed arm.
I'm guessing that he's batting from the left side. Fastball for a called strike. It's 1-2. Steven takes a deep breath as he gets a sign from Stafford. The righty delivers 1-2, swing and a miss. Steven punches out the side. Commodores down in order once again. We head to the bottom of the second. It's 3-0. YD in front on the Commodores Radio Network. Carson Montgomery back to the mound for the bottom of the second, but first, got to hear a message from Destiny Sanchez.
Thanks, Zach. Cape Cod Healthcare is proud to be the official healthcare sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League. And with 6 convenient urgent care centers across Cape Cod from Falmouth to Orleans, we're ready to treat a wide variety of minor illnesses and injuries, so you can get back to your regularly scheduled summer plans quickly. Open daily with no appointment needed and staffed by board-certified ER providers. View wait times at capecodhealth.org. Cape Cod Healthcare, urgent care, minor emergencies, major attention.
Thank you, Destiny. Definitely keep them in mind throughout the summer if we have any problems out here on the Cape. Falmouth hoping they can settle themselves down a little bit after a rough start to this game. 6 up, 6 down at the plate. And 7 came to the plate for YD in the first. 3 runs across. That brings us to the 3-0 score we have now. 8-9-1 for YD. It's Brady Day stepping in. Second baseman out of Kansas State. First pitch fastball bounces in. It's 1-0. Logan Van Treek, left-handed pitcher from Lipscomb, warming in the bullpen for the Commodores.
Yeah, if nothing else, you're just looking to see the mechanics kind of look the way they should for Montgomery. You know,
1-0, fastball low.
Obviously tough inning there. Got hit around a little bit. You want to see his stuff looking the way it's supposed to. He's got the breaking ball, good-looking changeup. He can pump it in there, low to mid-90s as well. Just get back to that, maybe get a couple ground balls and get back in the dugout.
2-0 count. Montgomery from the wind. The pitch skied out to right. Redfield backpedaling on it, and he'll make the play in front of the track. Quickly 1 down, and that's a good start to a potential bounce-back inning here for Carson Montgomery.
Well, again, look, you know you have the bottom of the order coming up now with the caboose, Enzo Apodaca coming up, but, you know, maybe not how you drew it up, 2-0, falling behind again, and then you're able to give him something to hit, and he does, but it's just right at, in this case, Joe Redfield. Got bailed out there a little bit. Now you got to get back ahead of the count.
Apodaca 5 for 15 to start his summer. Takes first pitch high and outside on the fastball. It's 1-0. The Gonzaga Bulldog steps in, slightly open stance from that left side. Holds the hands tight to the left shoulder, angles that bat. 1-0 swinging, fouls it back to the screen. Evens things up 1-1. Wind blowing out to left here at Red Wilson Field. Not a deep ballpark either. Saw a lot of balls get hit out of here in BP, and already won in the game with Hunter Hines, sending one out to right. 1-1. Try to go backdoor cutter and just miss the outside edge. It's 2-1.
Yeah, it was a nice, cute little house out in right center that Lavalette one hop to the foundation of the basement, and that's where Hunter Hines' ball was headed. The big bats here at Red Wilson can certainly reach some property.
2-1, fly ball, left center. Long run for Spikerman, but he'll run it down with ease. Plus speed out there in center field. Runs it down for out number 2.
Well, the outfielder's getting good use. That's why this team is one of the best offenses right now through the early part of this season here on Cape Cod. And again, hey, if you're playing for the fly ball when you give up an ugly spot like 3 to begin the ball game, then so be it. You know, work to what your stuff is doing to this lineup. You know, if they're seeing you well, then work to get it hit at your outfielders.
Brings up Casey Cook. First pitch slider for a called strike at the knees. It's 0-1. Deuce Gorson playing a few steps off the line at third, but in on the grass, protecting against a bunt. Other 3 infielders on the right side of second base with the left-handed hitter. Fastball up and in, evens up the count 1-1. Cook works with that open stance from the left side, holds the hands high. 1-1 from Montgomery, stays outside. Try to go back to that backdoor breaking ball. Montgomery working from the windup, first base side. The righty kicks and deals the 2-1. Called strike. Now found that edge with that backdoor slider. Count even 2-2 with 2 away here in the bottom of the second.
Yeah, that's his best pitch he's thrown all day, Zach. Really liked his ability to find the outside.
Break even fastball. Misses low and in. Count runs full 3-2. Got the big boppers in the order looming on deck. The 4 straight that reached for YD starts with Anthony Martinez, who stands in the on-deck circle. The payoff. Misses outside, ball 4. Montgomery walks Casey Cook. And a 2-out base runner for the Red Sox.
Well, one of the better misses we've seen in some of the situations where guys have worked later into the at-bat. And Martinez walked. Now he's back up. It was a full count pitch. That was a fastball up that never really had a chance. So, you know, you want to contest. You want the batters to at least think about it. And you don't want some damage here with 2 outs.
These 2 had a battle last time, a 9-pitch at bat for Martinez. before he worked that walk. Takes a fastball low. It's 1-0. Big presence in that left-handed batter's box. Came around to score on the Hunter Hines homer. 3-0 YD in front here in the bottom of the second. Runner at first base is Cook. 3-step lead. He's got good speed. Montgomery lifts the leg, pulls the string, and Martinez out in front of it. Evens up the count 1-1. Couple of steps towards the right side with the left-handed hitter. DeBarge is on the left side of second base, though, with Martinez up. 1-1. Pop foul out of play. Martinez ahead in the count now. Excuse me, Montgomery ahead of Martinez. It's now 1-2. Martinez works in the back of that batter's box. Rests the bat on that left shoulder until Montgomery comes set. Righty with a right leg kick. 1-2 off speed, misses outside, and it's 2-2. Similar spot we saw him in the last at bat.
Yeah, you need a put-away pitch here. I don't know if you try that breaking ball and try to hang something, maybe just work the outside.
The 2-2. Tried to catch the outside edge. He thought he got it, but misses just outside.
Well, that
lets him know to bring it down just a touch.
That was the pitch. I mean, that's the one that you're looking for, and Carson thought he got it. Big spot here.
Runner will be on the move from first. The 3-2. High and outside. Back-to-back 2-out walks. And there's 2 aboard with 2 away, and Max Vieira coming up.
Well, we saw the free passes kind of bite Carson in his last start against Bourne. You know, again, relatively, I thought his stuff looked pretty good that start, but now you don't really have too much room for error, and Landry's going to go out, and I think he might go grab his right-hander.
Wouldn't be surprised if he allows Montgomery to go one more batter here with a right-handed hitter in Vieira up and Van Treek, who has been warming the lefty in the bullpen. But a lot of lefties coming up after that. We'll see what Coach Landry decides to do here. Cook's at second. Martinez at first. Max Vieira fell behind 0-2 in the count in his last at-bat before singling to right. And Montgomery will remain in the game here.
Yeah, Carson walked 2 batters in that last start against Bourne. 2 already here. Excuse me, 3. 2 in this inning. Yeah, I don't know. It's just you're falling behind a little bit more consistently than you want, and then when you find a way to be ahead, you can't find that put-away pitch. Not because there haven't been too many instances of fouling it off. It's just you haven't been able to find the spot, and then you ultimately lead walking guys. That's what we've seen here a little bit from Montgomery.
First pitch breaking ball misses. Montgomery not sure where as he looks at Jeff Merzel behind the plate. But it's a 1-0 count.
Also looked at Michael Sadowski, who's playing in on the infield now. The third base umpire moved in.
He did. He wanted to know some information about that. Gives a look back to Cook at second. Fires high fastball. Popped up. Yannick looking for it at the backstop. He'll have room and he'll make the play. Montgomery gets out of the jam and puts a 0 on the board in the bottom of the second. It's 3-0 YD headed to the third at Red Wilson Field. 7, 8, 9 for Falmouth. Due up against Cal Stephen. The Boilermaker righty has been outstanding for YD. 6 up, 6 down with 4 punch-outs, Matt.
Oh, yeah, the Commodores haven't really been able to touch anything with him. Just a couple, the leadoff 3-1 that Redfield hit into, and then a line out by Condon. Really the only hard-hit ball this ball game for the Commodores, but it's been 6 up, 6 down. You got the bottom 3 of the order. Again, a couple newer guys with Keelan rounding it out, but Spikerman making his first appearance for the Doors in the left-handed batter's box.
The switch-hitting Oklahoma Sooner steps in from the left side and skies the first pitch, slicing in foul territory down the left field line, and it gets down in the bullpen for YD. It's now an 0-1 count to Spikerman.
Don't mind the aggressiveness, though, from Spikerman, looking for something to jump on in the first pitch, given that we've seen the right-hander Cal Stephen ahead so often here through the first 6, now getting into 7th batter of this game.
Wind gusting out to left. Fastball sliced foul again. It's quickly 0-2. Spikerman behind it. Stephen sits in the mid-90s with that 4-seam fastball, the 2-seamer around 91, and then has that slider in the circle change. Spikerman wide stance with 2 strikes now. The 0-2. Fastball outside. Count now 1-2. That looked like the 2-seam.
Yeah, I was going to say, kind of working backwards a little bit, trying to catch Spikerman off. You saw a breaking ball previously. 0-2, go with the heater. That one just missed with that arm side run.
The 1-2 from Stephen. Line drive out to left center. Jenkins Coward moving over, and he'll make the play a few steps to his left and quickly one away.
Best at bat, other than maybe Condon's line out down 0-1 in the count. There, you get behind 0-2, you watch that fastball start as a strike and bend off the plate, and then you barrel up a pitch right there, right at JJC out there in left. The East Carolina Pirate making the play to his left. I mean, hey, if nothing else, you can build that, and maybe with the guys in the on-deck circle seeing what Spikerman was able to do.
Brings up Nate Humphreys. He'll take a first pitch breaking ball high and outside. Count 1-0. Humphreys singled and scored the lone run in the win for the Commodores against Brewster a couple of days ago. Has that wide stance from the left side. Takes called strike. Breaking ball evens up the count. 3 infielders on the right side of second base. The lone infielder on the left side is Darby at third. He stands well off the line and playing in on the grass to protect against a bunt. Stephen with a long breath on the mound. Big righty goes into the motion, the 1-1. Another breaking ball fouled back off of the mask of Stafford behind the plate, and it's 1-2. Commodores in the road black uniforms with the maroon numbers and the white trim. Falmouth across the chest. Humphreys holds that bat almost parallel to the ground over his shoulder as he hunches over. The 1-2, swing and a miss. Stephen blows the fastball by him. 5 punch-outs to this point for Cal Stephen at 8 up, 8 down.
I was going to say, you still have one more batter to go before the lineup concludes. Tough start for the bats of Falmouth. My goodness, does Cal Stephen look good? He's been pumping that fastball, as you mentioned, in the mid-90s. Humphreys, with that low, wide stance, as you were talking about, Zach, just really, really late on that one. Cal Stephen is looking good.
First pitch to Gavin Keelan is hit on the ground, back up the middle, and a base hit. It sneaks into center field. Gavin Keelan with a 2-out single flips the lineup over, and the first base runner of the ball game for Falmouth.
Well, all that is to me is Cal Stevens say, hey, I'm rolling right now. Let's just try to get through this inning, pump a fastball by, and Keelan, that's what he's sitting on. Takes it on the ground all the way back up where it came, and if nothing else, that's what I saw with Spikerman. You're looking for your pitch and swinging early. He swung at every single pitch besides the ball that he got in that at-bat, did Spikerman, and Keelan representing that same kind of approach at the plate. Look for it and get it and drive it.
Keelan has good speed, 3-step lead off of first. Joe Redfield steps in, and a backdoor slider stays just a touch outside. Count now 1-0. Once again, a shift put on by YD with the left-handed hitter in Redfield at the plate. Shortstop Vieira playing just about 1 step to the left of second base, almost directly behind it. 1-0, Keelan takes off. It's a breaking ball. Throw down from Stafford in time, and Keelan is erased on the base paths. A 2-out single, but Stafford guns out a runner. Falmouth down in order again. We head to the bottom of the third inning. 3-0 YD in front on the Commodores Radio Network. New pitcher to the mound for Falmouth here in the bottom of the third. It's Logan Van Treek, the lefty out of Lipscomb.
Yeah, out of Lipscomb, Van Treek did a nice job coming into that southpaw kind of form. We saw there's a potential opportunity for the battery of Lipscomb to be used with Austin Kelly here. He's no longer on the squad, and I've liked what I've seen from Lipscomb and what Van Treek was doing. He was their Friday night guy, had himself a solid year, and now out of relief, it's a different kind of way to pitch, but we're going to see what he's capable of.
Well, and it should benefit Van Treek with the amount of left-handed hitters in this lineup. Big shift with Hunter Hines at the plate. His 3-run homer is the difference in this game to this point. Fastball misses low from Van Treek on the first pitch. It's 1-0. Van Treek had a big jump in his numbers this season. Thanks to a new mindset on the mound, he said. Gets a swing and a miss on the fastball. Was going out there trying to put on that persona of being bigger and better and being that mean, mad guy on the mound. And then he kind of realized that he doesn't have to do that. And with the switch in his mindset, really locked himself in this year. Curveball bounces in. He throws 4 pitches, fastball, slider, curveball, change. Has that little funky arm slot and funky leg kick to his motion that can make it harder to pick up.
Yeah, I mean, a 3.67 ERA will certainly play. Won 8 games this year, had 2 complete game efforts.
2-1 hit on the ground right side. Gavin Keelan, the quick field and flip for out number 1. Hunter Hines is retired.
Yeah, I really like what I've seen from Keelan so far in this ballgame. He's been the best Commodore, no doubt about it. The only hit in the game, couple ground balls moving to his left. That one's routine, but hey, you give credit to what Van Treek's able to do on the mound, and the big bat retired in just a handful of pitches.
Ryan Stafford steps in out of Cal Poly. The Mustang in his second at bat, roped a single to left in his first AB. Takes the fastball low. It's 1-0. Final line for Carson Montgomery. 2 innings pitched, 3 hits, 3 runs. All of them earned, 3 walks, and no strikeouts. And he's on the hook at the moment, but still plenty of ball game to play. Stafford hammered that one, but it hooks foul. Had plenty of distance down that line, but instead it's just a long strike, and it's 1-1.
They all look the same on the scorecard here, partner.
They do, but if you're Van Treek, got to see what he comes back with. Slightly open stance, works third base side exclusively from the stretch, goes to the bender, and the curveball is fouled back to the screen. It's 1-2. Infield deep across the diamond with 1 away. Outfield playing straight up against Stafford. That hit in the first inning was his first hit of the summer. Hits one on the ground. Backhand play by DeBarge, but he's never going to have a throw. So a 2-for-2 start to the ball game for Stafford, an infield single. And 1 on with 1 away. Can we talk about Kyle DeBarge getting to that baseball, though?
I don't know how he kept his feet. He was just running on a line, basically in line with the bullpen of YD. Ends up getting it on the backhand about maybe 3-4 feet into the short left field grass. Didn't stumble at all, stayed on his feet, knew better of it that he didn't have a play and just decides to eat it. But great range.
Now to Xander Darby. Fastball just misses. Yannick came up ready to fire on Stafford. He went on a pitch in the dirt. It was a dirt ball read that allowed him to move up on the wild pitch. Does have pretty good speed, especially for that catcher position. 3-step lead being held on by Condon. The 1-0 to Darby. The breaking ball that misses outside. It's 2-0. Darby had that soft line out to left on the diving catch by Lavalette back in the first inning. That was out number 2 of that long frame that saw YD get all 3 of its runs to this point. Van Treek with a deep breath. Look over to first. The 2-0, runner goes, a delayed steal, and the throw goes straight into center field. Stafford will hold. It was a swing and a miss on the pitch. I don't think anybody really let Walker Yannick know that he was going, and Yannick kind of holding up his hands. Had no idea that runner was on the move.
Well, I think he heard the dugout scream it, as we all did, but the middle infield kind of assumed that he would just eat it, and the veteran catcher just kind of airmailed that one into the outfield.
And that looked like a hit and run with the way that swing was. He had a lot of time to try and get Stafford. Fastball gets a called strike at the knees and evens up the count 2-2. Well, runner in scoring position with 1 away here for YD, trying to add on to the lead.
I think it's a good thing that Spikerman was the only one aware, pretty much behind second base, came in to back it up, and that's the reason that Stafford's still at second base.
The 2-2. Breaking ball cut on and missed. Good pitch there from Logan Van Treek to punch out Darby. And now Jacob Jenkins-Cowart steps up with a runner at second base and 2 away here in the bottom of the third.
Well, yeah, nice pitch there. Good cut and miss. The first strikeout defensively that Falmouth has been able to put together, so that's always encouraging. But yeah, I mean, if nothing else, you just need to find a way. That's the first strikeout they picked up. You got 2 outs now with the runner in scoring position. Find a way to put up another 0.
Deep fly out to center in his last at bat. This time takes a breaking ball for a called strike on the outside edge. It's a tough pitch to hit from that arm slot. Lefty. Jacob Jenkins-Cowart stands tall from the left side. Close stance. Holds the bat at an angle over the left shoulder. Fastball misses outside. Backhand play there by Yannick. It's 1-1.
Well, big numbers for Cowart. Had an injury this year at ECU, but coming off a freshman All-America season, still put up some pretty big numbers down in Greenville, South Carolina. Ended up also being an all-conference first-team selection, too. He's in the 7 hole, but he certainly is capable of batting higher in the order.
Breaking ball didn't break on the 1-1. Sets up a 2-1 count now. Slight bend in the knees from that left side. 2-1 hit on the ground right side. Condon fields it. He'll take it himself. And Van Treek works around the 1-out single to work a scoreless bottom of the third. Still 3-0 YD heading to the 4th here from Red Wilson Field. We're a third of the way through this game and just 1 hit for Falmouth. They trail 3-0 as YD continuing to cruise. This isn't the only game going on tonight on the Cape. It's the only game so far, but Destiny Sanchez has the info about the other games going on throughout the league tonight.
Thanks, Zach. The Bourne Braves and the Wareham Gatemen are in pregame right now. At 6 o'clock, the Brewster Whitecaps will be at Hyannis Harbor Hawks. At 6:30, the Hartwich Mariners will be at Orleans to go against the Firebirds. And at 7 p.m., the Cotuit Kettleers will be at Chatham at Veterans Field.
Thank you, Destiny. 5 games going on today, and with everybody rained out, I mentioned that 9 games in 9-day stretch, everybody's got that. So all the arms and the legs going to get tired as things go, but the top of the order up for Falmouth, trying to get things started the second time through against Cal Stephen. Swing and a miss on a first pitch breaking ball. Joe Redfield grounded out to the first baseman, Hunter Hines, back in the first to start things off. He was left standing at the plate when Gavin Keelan was caught stealing to end the third. So Stephen has still faced the minimum through 3. 0-1 bounces in. This time Redfield lays off of the breaking ball. Evens up the count 1-1.
Yeah, we mentioned the 402 average. He went 3-11 during the Baton Rouge Regional that he just came in from. That's why one of many Commodores and other Cape Leaguers that are coming in late to the season because of collegiate play.
Slider stays outside. Redfield heading the count now 2-1. Had the RBI single in the 8th inning against Brewster that brought in the lone run for the Commodores in that 1-0 win. Stephen gets the sign. The righty goes into the motion. The 2-1. Fastball just below the knees. And a hitter's count now 3-1 to Joe Redfield.
Yeah, really the only time the Doors have been ahead in a count here, and now you can really kind of pick a pitch.
And a big switch in the shift. Vieira moves back to the left side, and Darby all the way over to the right. 3-1 fastball, a called strike. So 3 men on the right side of the infield. It's the third baseman, Darby, playing pretty much at this second baseman's spot as Day plays in shallow right field. Redfield widens the stance with 2 strikes. The payoff from Steven. Misses low and inside, a leadoff walk to Joe Redfield to start the top of the 4th.
Well, early on in that at-bat, he got the breaking ball low and just was way out in front of it. That's kind of been the story of the game. Cal Stevens just worked ahead, and he's made guys look foolish in the box for Falmouth. Not the case this time around. If you work for pitches and you lay off some of that stuff, then you get the pitches that you're expecting to hit. And while Redfield took that inside fastball, he left that other one down. That's why he's on first base. Good at bat there.
Here's Kyle DeBarge, shortstop out of Louisiana. First pitch swinging, broken bat. Going to be a tough play at short. Vieira on the move, throw across, not in time. Kyle DeBarge with some firewood, but his first hit of the summer. And 2 aboard with nobody out, and Charlie Condon is the tying run at the plate.
Good hustle. DeBarge has been exciting since being here on the Cape in just his second game. And I was actually talking to Ross Highfill about the wood bats and that kind of deal. And, you know, most of these guys are paying for their own lumber. And first swing there of the at-bat just shatters right above the handle. That's an expensive base hit for Kyle DeBarge right there.
It is, and it can't feel good on the hands, but I'm sure it feels a little better now that he's standing at first base. Redfield at second, DeBarge at first. Condon steps in. Steven working from the stretch. First pitch slider stays inside. It's 1-0.
And not to be that guy, but Condon, last time he faced these guys, had a pretty big swing in a big spot. This is the tying run here. He represented that same position when he had the big grand slam back at the Gov a few days ago.
Trying to deliver once again for Falmouth. Couple of looks back to Redfield at second. The 1-0 is a breaking ball that swung on and missed as it drops off the table straight down against Condon. Evens up the count 1-1. It's the second baseman, Day, holding on Redfield at second. No one holding on DeBarge at first. He's creeping off the bag. Steven comes set at the belt. Couple of looks back to Redfield, who's dancing off the bag. Right leg kick, the 1-1. A number back to the mound. Steven turns, tried to go to third. Nobody was at third base, and so both runners will move up instead of a potential double play.
I mean, that works. You'll take it. Everyone gets to move, and now with one away, you got a spot for Lavalette, who hasn't gotten a hit yet. Some of his at-bats have looked a little lackluster, but he was making contact there with a couple balls the other way in foul territory, a couple of strikeouts for him as well. If there was ever a spot for the big man who was right up there in the lead of the SEC in terms of home runs, had himself a good year at Texas A&M, you'd like to see him come through here.
2 runners in scoring position with 1 away. Lavalette stands in. Tall presence at 6'7" from the left side. First pitch, off speed, down and away. Wouldn't be surprised to see them be careful with Lavalette here with first base open, but Walker Yannick stands on deck, and he brought in a ton of runs at Sam Houston as well.
Yeah, both of them have combined for well over 50 runs driven in apiece. So it's kind of pick your poison. The only reason to do that is just you want to get rid of the lefty here.
And allow a potential double play ball as well. 0-1, check swing, foul ball. Lavalette just got a piece of it. He's not too happy with himself there.
Yeah, see, that's just, you don't want to afford that. If that's a breaking ball in, you're going to leave it there and get ahead in the count and keep these consecutive at-bats of being up in the count alive. You just handed Cal Steven a free strike there.
3 men to the right side of second base. Darby playing on the grass at third. The lone man on the left side. A 1-1 count. Steven rocks himself set. Slightly staggers the feet. The 1-1. Fastball hit on the ground. Left side, a base hit. 1 run scores. DeBarge being waved around. He will score as well. A 2 RBI single from Chase Lavalette. And it's a 1-run ball game.
Good timely hitting. It helped that there was a distraction at second base, and Kyle DeBarge, who was able to dance out of the way of that one. Pretty much close to pinching the bag was that one in terms of where the shortstop should have been in Vieira. Since there's no double play ball, he's playing in normal depth there. So that's probably the only reason that gets through the way it does. And they had the shift on as well. And just like that, a 2-run base hit, and it's a 1-run ball game.
A lot of ball game left here as Walker Yannick steps in. 3-2, YD in front, top of the 4th. Lavalette stands at first. First pitch to Yannick misses outside. It's 1-0. We mentioned the frame of Lavalette. He's a big guy, but 18 stolen bags at Texas A&M this year. 18 for 21 with the Aggies. He's got a 3-step lead off of first, being held on by Hines. Yannick bends the knees from the right side. High leg kick. The 1-0 is popped up out of play over our heads here on the first base side. And it's a 1-1 count now. Infield playing straight up. Yannick digs back in. Was a strikeout victim in the second, part of a second inning that saw Steven strike out the side. 1-1 is skied out to deep center. Going back on it is Apodaca, now coming in, and he'll make the catch for out number 2.
Yeah, I just got under that one on that opportunity right there. You'd like to see Yannick barrel one up here. We've looked at all the numbers that he's capable of doing. He'll have to wait at least another at-bat, but you've already brought in 2. It's been a productive, good, solid inning from the Doors here offensively. And now Deuce is going to step in.
Brings up the left-handed hitting third baseman that you just mentioned, Deuce Gorson. He steps in, slightly open stance, sways back and forth as he awaits the delivery from Steven. He'll check back on Lavalette. And throw bounced in to Hunter Hines, who did a nice block to keep it in front, but here we go.
It's like he was playing Twister there at first base with Lavalette diving back to the bag, kind of stepping around him to corral that baseball.
Gorson, outstanding start to his career at UCLA. This is his first game with the Commodores. Takes a called strike on a backdoor breaking ball. It's 0-1. Deuce Gorson, a freshman All-American in 2022. He had 20 multi-hit games this season for UCLA.
Tell me something I don't know. He matched up against my Sun Devils and did pretty well over there in the Pac-12.
0-1 just misses. Gorson hopping around in the box. It's a 1-1 count. .319 average on the year for Gorson. 10 doubles, 10 homers. He had 23 doubles, his freshman year. Set the doubles record in UCLA history by a freshman. Another check back on Lavalette at first, and he's in easily on a dive. So still a 1-1 count to Gorson. Steven lifts the leg, the 1-1. Wave and a miss, blows the fastball by him. It's 1-2. Deuce Gorson originally committed to Arizona in his recruitment and then decommitted following Jay Johnson's departure to LSU and ended up joining the UCLA Bruins, staying a little closer to home. The San Diego native now widens that stance a little bit with 2 strikes. The 1-2, swing and a miss. Steven punches him out on the breaking ball. Normally we go to break here, but we're not going to, Matt. I'm going to toss it over to you real quick to tell people what's going on so I can get ready for this.
Well, yeah, we're going to try out some special food items that is known here at YD. Now, I got to tell you, as I'm going to tell, the item, they have a couple, but it's the donut burger. Now, I was going to try the triple play burger. I was going to test that out. I chickened out. Okay, yeah,
Matt chickened out. He didn't want the smoke.
I'm not into Boston cream. I'm not into the jelly-filled stuff. So I have a normal cheeseburger. Lame, I know. So I'm going to try it. I like my burgers. One bite, everyone knows the rule. We're doing this for TikTok as well. Yeah, it's just a routine burger that you get at the ballpark, fresh off the grill. Pretty solid. I don't think there's anything special about it. I give it a 7.6. 7.6 on the rating from me with the cheeseburger here at YD.
All right, let's see how this one goes. I got to get the mic here for the TikTok, but all right, we're going to see how this goes. I'm going to pick up the mic a little bit so I can take a bite of this, and then we're going to go because this thing is kind of bulky here.
That looks like a disaster on a paper plate. Zach takes the bite. Got some Boston cream on the fingers. What's the result?
This is actually pretty good. I'm not going to lie. This is actually pretty good. I'm not going to lie. I need some napkins now, but that was pretty good.
So what's the rating? You got to give it a number.
I'll go like an 8.5.
Wow.
Solid. I definitely need some napkins, though.
That might be a little friendly given that we're the road team here, but it is a staple mark on the Cape. The donut burger was off the menu each of the last 2 years. They brought him back for the centennial year from what we understand. And shout out Logan Safarenko, last year's Falmouth Commodores play-by-play broadcaster. We were told by him to try it once it got announced that the menu item was coming back. I would have tried it, but they ran out of the triple play burger, which is just
what they all say.
It's
Matt.
a glazed donut, normal glazed donut, and a cheeseburger. I mean, that's just good enough for me.
And that's what I was originally going to try as well. But first pitch to Brady Day misses from Logan Vantreek. The second pitch is lined to Gavin Keelan at second, and he'll make the play. We're glad you enjoyed our little adventure between innings, but we're back to the baseball now. As 1 up, 1 down for Logan Vantreek in his second inning of work. And it's a 3-2 ball game here. The momentum on the side of the Commodores.
Absolutely, and Logan Vantreek right back out to work. He looked good coming in relief of Montgomery, and now he's got some offense to help him out as well.
Fly ball left field. Lavalette ranging over. One pitch and another out to Enzo Apodaca. So 2 quick outs here in this bottom of the 4th inning for Logan Vantreek.
Working quickly. 2 outs on 3 pitches. Not bad for Vantreek. Gets one the opposite way from the left-hander in the box, Brady Day. Lavalette casually going to be able to make that play. It's off the end of the bat. Just a routine fly ball, and now you're at the back part of the order. There's been a couple scenarios already with 2 out base runners getting aboard. You got to close that door here and keep the door's momentum rolling the right way.
First pitch fastball to Casey Cook misses outside. It's 1-0. Vantreek was able to get himself through the last inning and now just trying to keep things moving. The 1-0 fastball popped up left side. It's going to get into shallow left. Lavalette calls off to Barge and makes the catch. And a very quick inning for Logan Vantreek. And the Falmouth bats right back to the plate. We'll step aside, back for the top of the 5th on the other side of the break. John Spikerman to lead things off. 7-8-9 for Falmouth. Here in the top of the 5th, it's a 3-2 ball game. As Spikerman lays one down, going to be a tough play. Darby comes across, and it's thrown away. It gets all the way into right field. Spikerman heading to second. The ball is out of play, and he'll hold at second base. But the tying run in scoring position with nobody out. I believe that's going to be ruled a single and an error, because it's really tough to get John Spikerman. We mentioned his speed earlier. He has elite moves on the base paths.
Yeah, I think he's safe either way on that one. It's a close play for sure, but even better, the bonus that it was kind of airmailed by Darby charging in on the grass. You kind of thought Cal Stephen was going to make the play himself, but then he kind of like sidestepped out of the way to allow his charging third baseman moving towards the base, has the momentum on his side to deliver a quick strike, and had the chance, but just threw it away.
They do give him a single and an error. So the first hit of the Falmouth Commodores' career for John Spikerman is a bunt single. He's at second base. Humphrey squares to one. He gets it down third base side. It's a sacrifice bunt. And Humphreys moves up the runner. The tying run just 90 feet away now for Gavin Keelan.
Well, good chance there for Darby to make it up, in terms of charging in there. Humphreys giving himself up, waving the white flag, not charging down the baseline at all. Good chance there for Darby to deliver it over, but now one away. You got the game-tying run 90 feet away. And a good chance for Gavin Keelan, who kind of started this whole thing back in the third inning.
Keelan steps in from the left side. Slightly open stance against the righty Steven. Infield in for YD. First pitch slicing towards the fans on that left field side. Foul ball, it's 0-1. You mentioned that single from Gavin Keelan. It was the first hit of the game for Falmouth. They now have 4, even with YD. The 3-run homer from Hunter Hines in the first put YD in front. Falmouth trying to even things here with Spikerman at third. It's a deep backstop here at Red Wilson Field as well. Fastball outside. They throw back to third. Spikerman dives back in ahead of the throw. It's a 1-1 count now. That almost looked like a pitch out, Matt.
Yeah, it was definitely looked intentional. They know who's over at third base. Spikerman getting down the line in foul territory. Anything by the backstop Stafford here, you're going to have a charging man from third coming on in.
The 1-1. Breaking ball, hit out into left field. Jacob Jenkins-Cowart comes in. He dives to make the catch and take a hit away from Keelan, but a sac fly is how it goes in the books. And we are even here in the top of the fifth.
Well, regardless, because that one was a dying quail kind of on Jenkins-Cowart, if that one gets down, you like to think that Spikerman's going to be able to find it and get home as that one's being recorralled by Cowart. But because he had to lay out, even with all that speed, you can't do much out there if you're Cowart. It's a good, strong throw in home. It kind of airmailed home plate just a bit. That was Cal Steven backstopping it, and 3 runs have been erased now. The lead is now tied up.
Lineup card flips back over. It's Joe Redfield. He started things off in the top of the fourth. Came around to score on the 2 RBI single from Jace Lavalette. After he reached on the walk, he takes a fastball just below the knees. It's 1-0. Infield shifted once again. 3 to the right side of second base. Vieira a couple steps to the right of second base, the shortstop. 1-0, swing and a miss. Went and chased that breaking ball. That's the same pitch that he swung at in the last at-bat before he was able to work that walk.
Yeah, except he got it first pitch of that at-bat and really kind of what you thought was shifting the momentum into the hands of Steven. But again, stay alive in the at-bats. Look for pitches and lay off some other stuff.
The 1-1. Swing and a miss. A breaking ball, but he left it up a little bit. That one was not in the dirt. It was snared by Stafford behind the plate. And now the infielders will flip with 2 strikes. Darby going to that position where Vieira was. Vieira playing the normal shortstop position in a wide open hole down that left field line. Redfield widens the stance. The 1-2. Runs inside, brushes him back, and evens things. 2-2 with 2 away. Falmouth bringing in 1 on the sac fly from Gavin Keelan, tying things at 3 here in the top of the 5th. Steven takes a deep breath on the rubber. The righty deals the 2-2. Fouled back, elevated fastball, and Redfield sent it straight back into the parking lot.
Yeah, way to go up the ladder and just stay with it there if you're Joe Redfield. This is a guy who hit .402 this past season with Sam Houston State. I don't know how I feel about, maybe against Lavalette, you can do that heavy shift for the left-handed bat, but Redfield's a guy who can put one down the third base line.
2-2, just gets a piece of the breaking ball in the dirt and stays alive. He'll get another 2-2. You mentioned maybe doing it against Lavalette. The single the other way, beating the shift, is what got Falmouth its first 2 runs. That would have been a ground ball to shortstop. From where Lavalette put that, had the shortstop been there, but it's able to sneak into left. Another 2-2 from Steven. Bounces in. Stafford with a nice block to keep it in front. No harm, no foul with anyone on base either way, but it does run full. It's 3-2.
I think you're more so looking in terms of the shift and all that of just the third base position, something over there. Lavalette did go the opposite way, but it was just to the left side of the second base bag.
The 3-2. Chopper foul.
But still battling. Look, a couple breaking balls there in the dirt. You went up the ladder and got a piece of the fastball. One way or another, he's going to have to throw you something, and if you can just get on it here, if nothing else, look, you're working a great at-bat. You're making him throw, working the stamina down a little bit, allowing your guys behind you to see some more pitches from Cal Steven.
The 9th pitch of the AB is hit on the ground to the right side. Fielded on a hop by day. Flip to Hines in time to retire the side, but Falmouth evens things. We're tied at 3, heading to the bottom of the 5th at Red Wilson Field. Two, three, four in the order for YD in a new ball game here in the bottom of the 5th. Falmouth has scratched its way back into this one to even things. 3 runs on 4 hits for Falmouth, 3 runs on 4 hits, and 1 error for YD so far. And Martinez almost just untied it on one swing, but it hooked foul.
Just a long way to get up in the count, right? I mean, you'll take it if you're Van Treek. It's got to be in between those foul poles for it to really matter.
That's for sure. I don't think he's going to see the same pitch again here, though. 0-1 is the slider, and it misses outside. Evens up the count 1-1. Martinez and Vieira, the first 2 hitters of this inning, have not seen Van Treek. Then Hunter Hines will get his second crack at the Commodores lefty. The 1-1. Foul tipped into the glove. Went right back to that slide piece, and it's 1-2. Van Treek is a starter at Lipscomb, so he can get you innings if you need them. And he's coming in a big spot and filling the hole here after Carson Montgomery only lasted 2 innings in his start. 1-2. Fly ball, shallow right center, long run in, and making the catch is Redfield for out number 1. Was a thunderous swing, but not great contact there from Martinez, and the shallow fly ball is the result.
Yeah, I mean, you have a hard charging Redfield coming in to make that play. The wind, again, I feel like it's blowing back in our face a little bit from right field, so that one, like my golf ball sometimes, if you get under it with wind in your face, just kind of hangs up there a little bit. You lose a lot of distance. That's what we saw there, and it gave time for Redfield to come in and make the play.
Max Vieira now steps in, 1 for 2 on the ball game, takes the fastball low. The Seton Hall Pirate continuing his hot start to the season. 1-0 is a breaking ball. Tried to go to the back foot slider, and Vieira wasn't biting. It's quickly 2-0. This is not the part of the order you want to fall behind if you're Van Treek. Infield deep across the diamond. And a fastball on 2-0 fouled straight back. And that hit the back of somebody's car.
That's 2 already.
Not mine. That one wasn't mine. I made sure of that one. I don't know about the first one, but that one was not mine. The 2-1. Fastball just outside, and it's 3-1 now to Van Treek. LVT on the mound trying to deal his way through. It's a 3-1 count. Max Vieira at the plate. A couple of V names going at it. Van Treek and Vieira. 3-1 popped up right towards us. That's going to get over the bleachers towards the concession stand line. And I don't think anybody caught it. I think somebody let it drop. They couldn't risk dropping their donut burger over there.
Oh, gosh. Yeah, I'm happy I laid off that option today. I don't know.
It was good, man. It was good. If you come out to Red Wilson Field, anybody at home, you got to try that. 3-2. Misses low on the fastball. Van Treek thought he had him, but Vieira works a walk. It's a 1-out base runner for YD.
I'll take my American cheeseburger just like Vieira will take his free pass right there on the full count. Pitch low and away. It's a good take inside, and more about Van Treek. I mean, the lefty, this is his first outing for Falmouth, right? So he's probably on some sort of a second appearance. We're still kind of getting used to what he's capable of stamina-wise out of the bullpen. And being a starter, a Friday night guy like Shane Telfer, obviously they're both tall lefties. I think you're looking for similar stuff from Van Treek here in this outing.
Yeah, that first outing for Van Treek was against this YD team. He went 2 innings, gave up 1 run, 1 hit, 1 strikeout. Now in his 3rd inning of work here, he's went 2 1/3 already. First pitch missed to Hines. He'll check over as well on Vieira. It's a 1-0 count.
Yeah, I don't really see anyone else up at the moment, Zach. You'd think that Van Treek still has a longer leash if he can get out of this inning.
He fell behind Hines in the first at-bat. There fires a slider that catches the outside edge for a called strike. Evens up the count 1-1. Fell behind 3-1 and then got a ground ball to Gavin Keelan. Had the very quick 1-2-3 inning in the last frame. A couple of flyouts and the line out. The 1-1. Wave and a miss. Went right back to the breaking ball. It's 1-2. Yannick has a good arm, but Max Vieira does lead the Cape in stolen bases, 6 for 6 so far. A few of those coming at Gov Fuller Field against the Commodores last week. Look over, Van Treek keeping an eye on him. Yeah, 4 of his 6 stolen bases coming against the Commodores.
Yeah, the Commodores have had a tough time putting guys away. Austin Kelly in the short term was able to go 2 for 2 in that category.
Runner does go, the 1-2 outside. Yannick comes up throwing, and he got him. Max Vieira retired for the first time. Walker Yannick introducing Red Wilson Field to that cannon of an arm. And the base runner erased, and Logan Van Treek 1 pitch away from getting out of this inning unscathed.
You'll take it, right? I mean, you're trying to roll for the double play there to get out. Yannick says he'll do it himself. That feels real good if you're the southpaw on the mound, 1 strike away.
The 2-2 to Hunter Hines. Breaking ball popped up. Shallow left field. Lavalette calls off DeBarge, makes the play on the run. And the base runner erased on the caught stealing, and another 1-2-3 frame. We're through 5 at Red Wilson Field, tied up at 3. Handing the play-by-play over to Matt Venezia on the other side of the break. You're listening to Falmouth Commodores Baseball.
Ready for the top of the 6th inning. It's a new arm. We'll tell you about him in a second. Cal Steven, 5 innings, 4 hits, 3 runs. They were all 3 earned. He walked a batter and struck out 6 Commodores before the offense woke up a little bit. There's a new arm out there, Zach.
It is Jackson Roberts out of Campbell, getting himself ready to go, as the Camel was outstanding in his freshman year in the Big South. Put together some ridiculous numbers, including a 108 opponent average against.
That was probably the biggest stat piece that stood out to me, not including his 2.13 ERA over 17 appearances. Very well versed down there. Breaking ball here, outer half, got the call behind the plate from Jeff Marcel. And just like that, 0-2 for the right-hander from Campbell against the Commodores, shortstop Kyle DeBarge. From the full wind and the pitch, it's a fastball off the plate. A nice take there from DeBarge out of Louisiana, the Ragin' Cajun. Had a base hit last time in the fourth, struck out looking in the first.
Yeah, he's got a new bat here after shattering his in his last at bat.
This one ripped up the middle. Good thing he had that new bat. And that's a leadoff base hit for DeBarge against the new arm Roberts. And one on, nobody away for the Doors.
Kyle DeBarge hit really well at Louisiana this year. Had himself an outstanding season for the Ragin' Cajuns, and just trying to continue that here. Had the 0 for 4 day in his debut for Falmouth, but made some nice plays in the field. And now today, getting it done at the plate.
So now it's the big bat out of Georgia, Charlie Condon, with a quick pickoff move by Roberts to keep tabs on DeBarge. Condon looking for his first hit of the game. Very capable. We talked about what he did last time he saw these Red Sox. It was back at the Gov a few days back. Another pickoff move, and DeBarge getting his pants dirty a little bit over there, diving back in consecutive moves here by Jackson Roberts. A look behind the plate to Stafford. He comes set on the mound as Roberts out of the stretch. The leg kick and the pitch. Slider in there over the middle for a strike. Moves the count to 0-1 with Jace Lavalette waiting on deck. Had the 2-run single that got the Doors on the board back in the fourth inning, and then they tied it in the fifth. So some offense working here for Falmouth. The leg kick, DeBarge is going up out of the crack. Stafford to throw. Did he get him in time? Yes, he did. The tag was applied. It actually looked like the third base umpire makes the call. Michael Sadowski, he was turned around. I don't know if he saw that. It kind of looked like DeBarge got his left leg in there ahead of the play. But we're not making the calls out there, Zach, and the base runner is erased.
No, and you can't pick a worse pitch to run on either. It was a fastball high and outside, and Stafford immediately came into his throwing stance.
Condon now has to work with nobody aboard. It's a slider away to the big righty, and he was not happy with that call, looking back at the Falmouth dugout with a jaw drop there. Suddenly, after that leadoff knock, the Doors are in a 1-2 count here. Roberts out of the full wind and the pitch. It's a breaking ball. A nice block there behind the plate by Stafford to keep it tight, and the count is 2-2.
And this is the first appearance for Roberts so far in the summer for YD after that regional appearance for Campbell.
Fastball looking for the outer half. It was low and away. A nice job there by the tall right-hander, standing 6'6", to lay off that one below the knee buckles, and we'll have to do it here. The full count, a nice battle back by Condon out of the full wind, and the pitch on the way. It's a breaking ball that's just nubbed down the first base line in fair territory. An airmail there by Roberts, pulling Hines off the bag, and Condon's going to be aboard, and that will no doubtedly be ruled an error from the right-hander.
Just like that. Continuing to keep things moving.
Certainly not how you draw it up, but Condon is aboard, and Roberts adds a little salt to potentially his own wound here on the mound, not helping himself out. And now there is a discussion being had by what appears to be the head coach for YD right now, trying to see maybe if the tag was applied as Condon was running through. Hines did have to leap to make the play. And they're continuing to discuss here. Jeff Marcel back there. And now the walk back to the dugout, which will allow Lavalette to work. Could certainly be convinced that he'd be in the big 6'7", number 44 in the black uniform here in the left-handed batter's box with nobody aboard and 2 out. But now Condon is on because of the error. That is the second error of the game to the credit of YD. The pitch on the way. Breaking ball, checking his swing. He did not go, but it was in there anyways. 0-1 to the big bat out in left field.
They actually ruled that a hit officially for Charlie Condon.
We've had some interesting scores, but our good buddy Gabe with the CCBL is the one calling it, so I trust his opinion more. The pitch on the way. It's a breaking ball in the dirt. A nice block there behind the plate by Stafford, and he would like a new baseball.
And it is a tough play. Down the first base line, it's a really slowly hit ball. That's a really tough spot, but normally when you see the ball and a throw that pulls the baseman off the bag, that's where you're going to get into the error category.
Right. 1-1, one away. The pitch from Roberts. He's got to be quick now. And jumping out of the crouch, Stafford nearly fired it back down for a back pick on Condon.
And that's a pitch that from this angle looked like if he hadn't jumped out of there, may have gotten the call on that. That was a close pitch on that inside edge to the lefty Lavalette.
Like Condon, Lavalette was a first-team freshman All-American as he chops one here to first base. That one actually got away from Hunter Hines. It was in foul territory by only a matter of inches. And if it was fair, I think Condon might be rounding third base as we speak.
Yeah, Lavalette with a nod there. I think he knew, he watched it go foul, but man, that one's got to not feel great when you're running down the line. You see the ball get into right field, you get excited, and then it's, nope, right back to the plate.
Yeah, Jay's taking his time to get in the box and pick up his baseball bat, and now he'll step out and get back in. From the discussions we heard in batting practice, I think he's using Joe Redfield's bat right now, which is only a half-inch shorter than his bat. Said it felt lighter and worked with his swing. 2-2 here as this one sent screaming back over the cage here, and that's another loud thump from the parking lot. We believe a third car has been struck.
Tough.
That's why I'm happy my car is still in Arizona at school at the moment and not in the parking lot here at DY High School.
My car is in the parking lot, but I'm pretty sure that one was a little bit right of where I'm parked.
You won't know if you're safe until we walk back.
No, we will not.
When we leave tonight. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Lavalette. The pitch is a fastball up and away, cut on and missed. Lavalette a little late on that one, and he heads back to the dugout with 2 away, and that'll bring in Walker Yannick.
Big spot for Yannick here, trying to get another run in and see if Falmouth can get a lead here in this game after a really tough start to the game, but they've worked their way back into it, and anything can happen now. It's a 4-inning ball game.
In the Baton Rouge Regional, Yannick left his stamp on the Game 2 win against Tulane, 2-4 in that one with a home run. This one is ripped into the hole. It's short. That's going to be a base hit. A 2-out knock from Walker Yannick, his first as a Commodore. We've been very excited and anticipating of that bat to come through. And now you got 2 on with 2 out. That'll bring in Deuce Gorson from UCLA.
And that's 3 hits on the inning already for Falmouth. That caught stealing may loom large here in this inning. A big spot with a very talented hitter and Deuce Gorson up. We'll see what he can do.
You'd like to think with the speed that DeBarge has, he would certainly have scored on that one. It was hit pretty sharply, though. It would have been close. Jenkins Coward certainly has a cannon out there and left. And now work done here. This one blocked there behind the plate, and I think there actually may have been a cross-up situation, and that's why Stafford's going to go out.
Very much so. He looked like he was getting ready to go block a pitch, and it was a fastball to hit him in the chest protector. Not what he was looking for on that spot. Now going to go talk things over.
I can tell you I was never in real situations of being crossed up where you think a breaking ball is coming, and instead it's low 90s off the chest. I don't think that feels very good from Stafford, and if anything, he's just buying him some more time to maybe let the swelling go down after eating that one up. So the conversation looks to be ending with Deuce Gorson, again, a really good defensive player out there in the Pac-12 that we've been anticipating seeing him here. He was an all-conference player this year in the year of 2023, a freshman All-American last year. You talked about the doubles, the program record for the Bruins out there in Southern California. Breaking ball in here, though, for a strike. Left-on-right matchup benefits tonight's third baseman for the Commodores.
Got to think if there's a ball hit to anywhere but left field with the jump that Condon can get with 2 away, I think he's going to try and go, and they'll try and be aggressive and take the lead here.
A look to Condon at second. Now the pitch. It's a breaking ball. A lot of vertical north-south movement, but it was not able to come back to the back door. And it's 2-1.
Big spot here for Deuce. Get ahead in the count and just try and do some damage. A lot of room down that third base line as well.
The pitch here from Roberts. Breaking ball. This one's chopped foul. A couple feet to the right of the first base bag. And with 2 out, now you got to find something to hit. With Roberts looking to escape the jam. This is his first inning of work after 5 innings of what was through the first part of the order a tremendous effort from Cal Steven, but then the Doors over the last 2 innings really got to him, tying this ball game up. The pitch on the way from Roberts, breaking ball, left him buckled. It's a backwards K, a strikeout looking for Gorson, and he heads back in disbelief. The Commodores get 3 hits. Only 2 are left stranded, though, in a game that remains deadlocked as we head to the bottom of the 6th. Stay with us from Red Wilson Field here on the Commodores Radio Network. Van Treek again out there. The southpaw will work again here for the Commodores in relief of Carson Montgomery. He's looked pretty good. He's gotten some hard hit balls right at some Commodores defensively, but has kept this game now with 5 consecutive zeros entering this bottom 6 since the big Hunter Hines 3-run shot way back in the first inning of play. And that's where YD's offense currently stands. 3-4-1 reads the line of the Red Sox, 3-7-0 for the Doors, who remain tied here at Red Wilson Field. First pitch, breaking ball, chopped foul by Ryan Stafford, the catcher behind the plate for YD tonight.
The lone man to get a hit off of Logan Van Treek was Stafford. He hit that ground ball to the left side. DeBarge made that nice backhand play in the outfield, but couldn't have any chance to get Stafford running down the line.
He's 2 for 2 today with back-to-back base hit singles as this one's in there. Another breaking ball, belled high for a strike, and it's now 0-2.
It's got to feel good for Stafford, who entered on an 0 for 5 stretch of the season in his debut.
This one, though, is driven on a line. That'll one-hop a couple times for a base hit out to right center, and Stafford has 3 base hit singles in as many at-bats.
It's another 0-2 hit for YD. They've done a nice job of, when they fall behind at bats, continuing to battle and try to push for things here. We'll see what Van Treek can do. Got the 4 straight left-handed hitters in the order now, though, so a good spot for him.
The third baseman out of UCSB, Xander Darby, will step in. 0 for 2 today. Lined out to Lavalette, the diving catch out there. Then struck out swinging last time. It's a fastball at the knees called for a strike from Jeff Merzel.
Van Treek did a nice job on a breaking ball to get him to swing through it. You've also got Stafford at first. He stole a bag and advanced on a wild pitch in his 2 times on first. He's been quick to second, so keep an eye on him.
Yannick has gunned a man out, so we'll have to see if they want to test him again. The most recent attempt was gunned down, and that was Max Vera, the leader in the Cape League, as you mentioned earlier, partner. Another pitch at the knees called for a strike, and in back-to-back at-bats, Van Treek's ahead 0-2. From the stretch, a look over to first, keeping tabs on Stafford. Now he goes. This one is chopped foul towards us. Can we get that logo to pop up? Almost. The 100 Centennial logo on the Rawlings baseball here. Rolling towards us behind the protective cage here at Red Wilson Field. Really good view here from us. A couple of times along the first baseline in foul ground. But we're right up against the fence now. Good look at it. 0-2 here. Breaking ball looking for the outer half. Not getting the call. That's a good 0-2 pitch. It's 1-2.
Yeah, that's where you want to miss. You want to put it in a close spot. And a really good take there by Darby.
Making Van Treek have to think a little bit. The southpaw out of Lipscomb with one last look to first base. Now he looks home, and the pitch. Lifts the leg and got a swing and a miss on the outer half. A pretty poor cut there on the third strike from Xander Darby. And it's another strikeout for Van Treek, the first out of the inning.
Really nice job there. Once again, just staying in control that entire at-bat and not at all rattled by that leadoff single from Stafford.
So now it's Jacob Jenkins Cowart. 0 for 2 up to this point. We talked about his accolades at East Carolina. As he swings at a breaking ball low and away, the lefty's having a tough time with that pitch.
A lot of lefties have been because it's been so difficult to pick up from that arm slot. There's another big righty warming in the bullpen for YD as well. Blake Ida out of Kennesaw State. We'll see if that means the day is done already for Jackson Roberts.
Condon had to receive that pickoff attempt. Jenkins Cowart stands in now. The lefty had a big year this year for East Carolina, despite landing on the injured list at some point this season. Teammates with two of my high school best friends, Zach. Jacob Jenkins Cowart, teammates with Zach Agnos, now with the Fresno Grizzlies out in the Colorado Rockies organization, and Carter Cunningham, who's just finished off a great year in right field for East Carolina this year. The 0-2 pitch on the outside. A good frame job by Yannick. Coming up empty there on the call.
Another really good take by Jenkins Cowart in there, and he knew it immediately, nodding as soon as that pitch was caught. Knew that was just a touch outside. Watch Stafford here.
He does not go. The pitch here, looking for the outside, not getting the call, is Van Treek. That's a good effort there. I don't know where that one missed.
I think it's just a bit out. I think that's the same pitch in the same spot that we saw just a minute ago.
Well, now you got to sort of find a strike. It's a 2-2 count here. There is a runner aboard in Stafford. Now the pitch on the way, looking for the same exact spot. Getting the same call. It's a fastball that misses. Yannick took his time there to deliver that baseball back. I think he thought that one was closer, and now a conversation with Merzel seems to be happening.
Van Treek quickly said, "Is that down and out?" And Merzel said it was down.
Let's see where he goes here. 3 balls, 2 strikes. The pitch on the way, swing and a miss. The throw down, and now in a pickle, it's Stafford. Running back is DeBarge. The tag on to Condon. Not the way you draw it up. That's a double play to get the doors out of the jam. Just the one hit from Stafford, his third of the game, but then he gets himself in trouble on the bases. The Falmouth Bats coming up as we go to the last third of the ball game. It's still 3-3 from Red Wilson Field on the Commodores Radio Network. The right-hander from Kennesaw State. It's Blake Ida taking the mound now for the Red Sox, trying to keep the Doors' momentum from continuing in this ball game. His numbers are brought to you by our other broadcaster here, Zach Surdenik.
Yeah, Blake Ida out of Kennesaw State. This is his third appearance already with YD. He's combined to go 1 1/3 innings pitched. His first appearance came back on opening night against Harwich in the 4-3 loss. He went 2/3 of an inning and struck out both guys he faced. Then the next one against Brewster, in their 8-6 win over the Whitecaps. He went 2/3 again, gave up 2 unearned runs in that outing with a hit and a walk. So we'll see what he can do here against this order for Falmouth that's gotten some momentum, and the bottom third of the order is what brought around that tying run back in the 5th.
Well, now they got a shot once again. It's John Spikerman, who had a base hit, but then the throwing error from Darby charging in allowed him to go to second, and that's what was the first of that set of runs that really tied the ball game and allowed the Commodores to be where they are now.
And Ida's going to have to change his glove. Jeff Merzell says it's too close to the white with that gray glove, so he's going to get a new glove here.
Now, partner, here's what I'm wondering. I guess it depends on the umpiring group that's going to make that call or not, but since you mentioned he's already had 3 appearances on the Cape League this summer, do you roll out there with the same exact glove every time and get the same thing? Hey, man,
well,
you
I
can't
don't know
use
that
that
they've
pitch?
made it every time, because we've seen it one other time this season, and it was Jeff Merzell behind the plate that day as well who made that call.
Right.
So I don't know that every team has, or every umpiring crew has
stopped
him
Ida.
from using that
Right.
glove.
Okay. So he's got a new glove now. It's a tan one as he breaks from the wind and leaves it down low to John Spikerman, the center fielder, a switch hitter from Oklahoma in his first game here with the Falmouth Commodores. Again, a lot of different players continuing to make their way here to the Cape League. This one off the glove. It was a breaking ball from Stafford. He didn't catch it. That one looked pretty decent from here. I don't know if they're not getting the call because it was dropped behind the plate.
Yeah, it's also a tough angle from here to see in and out. I think that pitch may have been a touch in.
The 2-0 left upstairs and away. Spikerman doing a nice job. Had a good hard line out in his first at-bat. Worked what I thought was one of the better at-bats in the first third of this game for Falmouth, and then he came back with that base hit. Advanced on the throwing error, as we mentioned. This one on the 3-0 right down Broadway, and it's the first strike of the at-bat to Spikerman.
Yeah, he showed off that elite speed, laying that bunt down and then setting things up. It was a bunt, and then a sac bunt, and then a sac fly.
The pitch, and this one's cut on by Spikerman. A few long looks from him here back towards us here as he steps out of the box, circles back in, gives his lumber a stare, and now gets back in there a little bit wider now. Trying to bear down on the full count pitch coming from Ida from the wind, and it goes. It's a breaking ball and coming all the way back from 3-0, leaving him checked up there. It's a backwards K and a strikeout for Ida to the first man he sees.
Spikerman disagrees with that one. He came back mouthing to himself, that's outside. And I don't know whether it was or it wasn't, but I can tell you that a lot of hitters have thought very similar things leaving the batter's box today.
With all these left-handers in this Falmouth order that everyone is aware of throughout all our broadcasts of saying that, they're strictly recruiting of these southpaw hitters, as this one in there, the 1-0 for a strike. It's tough to tell, really, from the angle that we see here. But Jeff Merzell saying it was good enough to get it. A ball and a strike with 1 out here in the top of the 7th. Ida, the pitch, cut on and missed. Big, healthy hack from Nate Humphreys. He's behind 1-2.
And Jeff Merzell has been one of the best umpires on Cape Cod the last few years. He was Cape League Umpire of the Year back in 2021.
Breaking ball in the dirt. Stafford with a nice block.
Always does a consistent job back there. And when you see his name, you know you're going to get consistency, and that's all you can really ask for.
Haven't really thought too much of it myself here, as we've seen him a couple times this year. Fastball down Broadway, cut on and missed. 2-2 pitch. And that's back-to-back strikeouts for Ida. One looking and one swinging. Good start for the right-hander, as now he'll see Gavin Keelan, who has been very productive in the 9-hole for the Commodores today.
Yeah, Gavin Keelan was the leadoff hitter to start the year for Falmouth, moving down into that second leadoff spot here in the 9 spot today and getting it done.
Watching all the way, thought about moving the baseball bat a little bit off his shoulders, but taking that pitch for a strike on the outer half. Keelan had his first hit of the game. The first hit is this one, as lined out to right. It'll drop down for a base hit. He's got his second hit. I was getting ready to say that he went pretty much that same way to right center for the first hit of the game for Falmouth. And he cut me off there by doing it pretty much again here with 2 outs.
Yeah, Gavin Keelan just flipping the lineup card over and getting the job done. And that's all you really ask for out of that 9 spot. And trying to just continue to push things and see if Falmouth can get a run across here and try to take the lead as we go to the late part of this ballgame.
Back to the top of the order, it was the Brewster hero, Joe Redfield, had the only run driven in. It was in the 8th inning of what was a tie game, 0-0 in that ball game. Now he's got himself a spot in the later part of this ball game to come up. He walked back in the 4th and came around to score on it, and a couple ground ball outs since. Ida with a look before coming set from the wind. He's going to go from the stretch here. It's a breaking ball in the dirt. Keelan is going on it. It's going to be a close play, and the baseball is dropped on the tag. And because it was a very delayed response from the third base umpire moving in there on the infield grass, Michael Sadowski. But the ball was dropped, even though it looked like the tag was there in time, and that's why Keelan's going to stay at second.
And that's what Vieira was saying. He was saying he thought it was on like the transfer, and he started to look at Sadowski and try to communicate that to him, but Sadowski wasn't buying it.
So now a 2-0 count with a good contact bat, better than 400 on the average for Joe Redfield. And it looks like they're going to call a balk right here, and that's a free 90 feet. With all the speed Keelan has, you're thinking a base hit will score him for sure. Now, without a doubt, anything down on the ground through the infield will give the Commodores the lead.
And we've already seen 2 pitches in the dirt at this at-bat. If anything gets by Stafford behind the plate, that also could bring in that run for Falmouth.
2-0 pitch here on the way. Breaking ball drops into the sweet spot of the zone. Taking the whole way was Redfield. The first strike picked up here by Ida. But now suddenly a little bit of laundry to do before getting back unscathed into the dugout along the third base line for YD. The best team out here in the Eastern Division has a little bit of a threat. Redfield chops one to second. This play will be made by Day. The flip to Hines. The threat on the bases is avoided for YD. Another 0 on the board with the Falmouth Bats. Still looking to break this tie. It's time to stretch. We'll bring you back for the YD offense in the bottom of the 7th here on the Commodores Radio Network. Nice work by Logan Van Treek for a long hold, and maybe attempting the same thing here is the new man from NC State. It's Rio Britton for his first appearance with Falmouth.
Yeah, Rio Britton coming in. A couple of members of that NC State Wolfpack joining the squad recently. He'll be the first to debut. He transferred to NC State from Oregon, where he was really good as a Duck. Held opponents under 200 batting average against in both seasons there. He had a pretty solid season with the Wolfpack as well. 3-2 record, sub-5 ERA. 42 strikeouts, 19 walks. He's going to continue to try to pound the zone. That's what Mike Landry loves in his pitchers. He talks about efficiency and attacking the zone, and we're hoping to see the same thing here from Rio Britton in his Commodores debut.
For those wondering, Logan Van Treek's day is over. Went 4 innings, gave up 2 hits, no runs, walked a batter, struck out 3, and faced 13 guys, and really did a nice job working through. Didn't really get into any spots. And that's what you're looking for out of a guy who's a Friday night guy at Lipscomb. He's offering you that longevity in the middle part of the ball game. And now Rio Britton can come into a spot where the offense has battled back into this game. 2 consecutive zeros by the Falmouth Bats, so Rio has the task of continuing the zero chain. There's been a lot of zeros in a row from YD after that 3-run shot way back in the first inning, and that's where we remain, 3-3.
But you cannot allow your guard to come down and make a mistake against this offense. They can score runs. 3 runs they scored on opening day. That is the least amount of runs they've scored all season.
So now, as we begin the bottom half of the 7th, Brady Day down in the 8th spot of the order sees a fastball from the southpaw in there for a strike. Britton chomping on his gum there as he receives the baseball back. Looks like he's comfortable out there and in a groove. As he comes set waist high here, working from the stretch with nobody aboard. The leg kick and the pitch. It's a fastball that got away from Walker Yannick.
Yeah, and another left-handed pitcher into the game here with all these lefties in the lineup for YD. We'll see if they make a move later in the game here.
Britton lifts the leg and fires one away. That's a changeup spiked in the dirt. A nice pick there behind the plate by Yannick. And from 0-1, now the southpaw Brady Day is ahead of the count here with a hitter's opportunity here. 2 balls and 1 strike. The Commodores on the road here tonight, looking for their 3rd win of the season. The pitch on the way. This one's rolled on the ground. Having a play on it because of the shift is DeBarge. He's going to make the play confidently. And the first out picked up.
And I mentioned whether YD would make a move and try and get a righty out there, and they will right away. It's Jacob Christian, the first baseman from Point Loma Nazarene University that played first base when the Red Sox were at Gov Fuller Field. Now he's going to come in here as a pinch hitter for Enzo Apodaca.
And it is Jacob Christian, as you mentioned, partner, stepping into the box now for YD. A pinch hitter here in the bottom part of the order. A .250 hitter on this Cape season. 5 knocks in 20 tries. 2 RBIs to go along with his numbers here in this early part of the campaign. Fouls off the first pitch he sees from Britton. We'll have to see where the defensive alignments have that go with Jacob Christian. The pitch here on the way looked like a slider that just danced along the top half of the zone. It stayed up, though. A ball and a strike with 1 away.
Christian was hitless, the lone Red Sox that was hitless against Falmouth back in their last matchup on the 13th.
Fastball here inside. Christian kind of lifted up the hands there, noting that that was inside. Jeff Merzell had other ideas and gives the call to the southpaw of Falmouth. A ball and 2 strikes now. A shake of the head. 2 now from Rio Britton, and now he'll come set. Found what he wants to throw here in the spot. The leg kick and the pitch on the way. Breaking ball. Sounded like a shattered bat as this one looks to be dying out in left centered, and it does. It gets down. Don't think that lumber will be able to be used next time Christian steps in, but it's going to be a 2-strike base hit with 1 away, and only the 6th hit of the day here now for YD.
Yeah, it was a big swing. It looked like he was trying to put that one over the scoreboard and just didn't catch it clean enough. It broke the bat, but found outfield grass.
No chance for Lavalette to come in and get there. We talked about all of his success on the bases, having a lot of speed, but he would have had to have been the flash to come in and get that one. So now the order flips to the top. First pitch swinging, getting over in the second base hole is Keelan. He's able to make the play. That's a 4-6 back to second on the fielder's choice. Had to be quick was Keelan, and he did just that, attacking the lead runner and getting him out.
Yeah, that's very risky coming across. Normally at second base, when you're coming that far towards first base, you just flip it to first. But he's able to get the lead runner. It worked out there, and a big spot to keep that runner out of scoring position here.
So Casey Cook's going to move on to first base. And what a spot to do that. Gavin Keelan has really stood out today in this ball game down in the 9-hole with his bat. 2 hits for Falmouth today. First pitch swinging. This one's popped a mile into the air. Charging in from center is Spikerman. He's just a few feet off the infield dirt, and he'll make the play in shallow center. No threat after that fielder's choice was erased, and the Commodores hang a 0 defensively. We're going to the 8th, and it's still tied at 3. Stay with us on the Commodores Radio Network. Kyle DeBarge will lead it off in a spot of 2-3-4 for Falmouth. Charlie Condon on deck, and then Jace Lavalette had the 2-run base hit single that made it 3-2 YD. Since then, the Doors have tied this ball game with 3 unanswered runs. That was in a stretch of the 4th and 5th inning. Nothing since for Falmouth, and it's been a long time since YD was able to get on the board. Matt Venezia, Zach Surdenik, and Destiny Sanchez, among others, bringing this to you. We want to shout out our scoreboard operator, Laura, helping us out here on the road. Kind of a chilly night now, YD, as the sun continues to back away just a little bit, but some clouds in the sky. We're looking at the weather radar, no rain, but there were a few raindrops as we now knock on wood here. Few as in maybe like a couple that you could count on 1 or 2 hands at most. But that's where we stand now with the Bars stepping in. We want to thank you for joining us here for game number 7 on the year. The Doors 2-3-1, looking to get their win total even with their losses. And now DeBarge, first pitch, fastball right down the middle from Ida, back out there for a second inning of work.
Really just trying to see what they can do against Ida. They didn't do a ton in the last inning. It was the Gavin Keelan single, but nothing else.
2 for 3, 2 base hits for DeBarge. He's way out in front of that one. That was an ugly sword there from DeBarge. Bat way ahead of the slow breaking ball that dipped away from the right-hander. And it's quickly 0-2 here. The pitch on the way from Ida. This is a breaking ball. Never had a chance to be a strike. A nice pitch, or excuse me, a better take there from DeBarge, watching that one break away from him in the right-hander's box. Ida now full wind, brings the glove closer to his face, accepts a call, and now he goes into the motion. The pitch, it's a breaking ball right back to the right-hander. He's going to run over and toss this one. That's going to be a 1-3 on the ground out. DeBarge is retired to lead off the 8th.
He is retired, but he turned on the burners out of that batter's box. It looked like that was going to be an easy play, and he made it not like super close, but a lot closer than it looked like it should have been.
Charlie Condon in there now. He's been the primary 3-hole hitter for the Doors since opening day. Had a base hit last time on a weak chopper back to Jackson Roberts. And on the play, it was airmailed, forcing Hines to leap off the bag. At first, we were convinced it was an error, but Charlie's batting average improves just a bit because they gave him a base hit on it. Slider here low and away below the knees, and Condon leaves it there. He's ahead of the count, 2-0.
And it's another game with a hit for Charlie Condon as he continues a really good start to the summer.
The pitch here from Ida, breaking ball down low and in. It's ahead 3-0 now for the righty out of Georgia.
And I don't think that Blake Ida wants any part of Charlie Condon right now.
Probably not, but Lavalette on deck. The left-on-right matchup favoring the Commodore left-hander. This one right down the middle, but in and out of the glove. Despite that, it's still a called strike behind the plate. A slap of the glove there from Stafford, thinking he should have held on to that one. The 3-1 here now, and that's a breaking ball. Never had a chance. It's a 2-out walk, and Condon reaches for the second consecutive time, and that brings in Lavalette. Had the base hit they drove in 2 back in the 4th. Of 1 for 3 today.
Big spot here, trying to get something going in the top of the 8th for the second straight game here for Falmouth.
And it's Jace Lavalette, picked up his first set of runs driven in, as we continue to mention the big part of the offense for Falmouth way back in the 4th inning. From the stretch now is Ida. First pitch coming, looked like a breaking ball that stayed in to Lavalette. 1-0 now to the big left fielder for Falmouth.
Yeah, went to that slider on the inside edge and tried to get him to chase it, but continued good discipline takes here this inning for the Commodores.
The pitch here from Ida. This one's a breaking ball, chopped foul right at the first base bag. Pull side contact there from Jace Lavalette. A ball and a strike with 1 away. Walker Yannick on deck had a nice piece sent back on a line up the middle on a couple of hops to the center fielder Apodaca for the first base hit for Walker Yannick here on the Cape season. Ida is set, a look down with his shoulder. Now he will go. A nice block there behind the plate by Stafford on the breaking pitch. It's 2-1 now, a hitter's opportunity for Lavalette. Haven't really seen too many opportunities of him getting some solid contact to this point. A lot of strikeouts. He did strike out 75 times this year at Texas A&M. Typical for a big power bat. That is Jace Lavalette. The pitch here, this one's driven out, though, to the opposite field, and that will get down. It's a base hit for Lavalette. He's got his second single of the afternoon, and there's 2 on with 1 away for Walker Yannick.
That was a deke out in center field there. Trying to keep him from advancing anymore, but it wasn't really that close out in center, as it is Jenkins Cowart who moved to center field. So Condon didn't want to test his arm either way.
Yeah, good. Well said, partner, as now Jenkins Cowart is the center fielder of record who decided to hold on to that one. And I like what you said there with the deke. Kind of threw his glove up in the air thinking he was going to come in and make a play on it. Meanwhile, first pitch swinging. Yannick sends it slicing foul. And there's a catch out there by a youngster with his mitt able to make the play. It's got to be in on the field, though, and by a guy in a white jersey to count. Nothing
This
in
isn't
one.
banana ball.
No, it
here.
is not. Banana ball, they came out to Arizona a few times. Didn't get to see them myself, but a couple Arizona State Cronkite students did. Yannick here, second pitch swinging, screams one up into the left center part of the field. It's going to be caught up near the wall. Tagging is Condon. He will get there sliding. And they're on the corners with two out. A pretty deep situation there out to left center, but it moves Condon up 90 feet away from giving the Commodores the lead.
Yeah, unfortunately for Yannick, the wind kind of died down a little bit, because if that was earlier in the day, that ball is definitely getting out with the wind. Also, a nice job by Condon to recognize where that is and get a good jump there. Jacob Christian is out in right now, and so, or excuse me, out in left now, and so you don't have the arm of Jacob Jenkins Cowart there anymore as he's in center, so able to move up there.
Something about me writing in this red pen every time we see YD, a lot of defensive changes and scratching out of the scorebook here. Looks like an arts and crafts project over here to the right side of this table we have set up for our broadcast. The pitch on the way in the dirt to Deuce Gorson. It's a nice block behind the plate by Stafford. Gorson steps in. 3 strikeouts today for Deuce, trying to avoid the old golden sombrero here with a big spot to try and bring in Condon.
All of that can be forgotten if he's able to drive in the go-ahead run here.
That's exactly right. Does favor Deuce here with the left on right. Ida with the pitch on the way, drops the slider in there, belt high and away, in there for a strike. 1-1 now. 10 hits now for the Commodores, out hitting YD. That was not the case last time these two teams faced. The pitch on the way, nice block behind the plate. It did get away from Stafford. Not enough for Condon to come in and score, but good heads-up base running by Lavalette. He moves on to second. We talk about that speed from the big 6'7" lefty in Lavalette. A base hit here, depending on where it is, could maybe bring in 2, Zach.
Yeah, the first one's big, but if you can get both, that's massive. Give yourself the lead and some insurance.
Now stepping off the mound is Ida here. Looks like some time was called defensively. Now everyone gets settled back in on the mound for Ida and in the box for Deuce Gorson. He comes set on the mound, 2-1. From the stretch, the pitch. It's a changeup, maybe a breaking ball actually, that started low and missed low. 3-1 now to Gorson, who's looking to find a way to get on and keep it moving, or maybe be the one to drive it in himself. 3 balls and 1 strike. Big chance here for the middle infielder, now playing third base tonight out of UCLA. With 2 gone in the inning here in the top of the 8th. The pitch on the way. It's a fastball right down Broadway. Taking it all the way was Gorson. Not his pitch. Let's see what he can find here on the full count offering. The YD faithful along the third base line, starting to get a little loud here, trying to pull for the home team here. And the visitors in the black jerseys have other ideas. Ida comes set from the stretch, and the pitch on the full count. It's a breaking ball sent over the fence, foul. Slicing over the dugout of YD. So we got the breaking ball there after taking the heater all the way. Could it be 2 slow ones in a row, or will Gorson have to buckle up and choke up to get on the hot stuff?
I think he's going to get the heater here.
He's gone to it a couple of times. The majority, though, has been the off-speed. And here it is again, the 3-2. It is a slow pitch, and it's cut on and missed. That's 4 strikeouts for Deuce Gorson. Not the way he wants his first game with Falmouth to go. And nonetheless, a bigger opportunity for YD. They get out of the jam. Going to the bottom of the 8th, it's still 3-3 here on the road. The Commodores looking to hang another 0 defensively here on the Commodores Radio Network. Big spot here for Rio Britton and the Commodores, trying to strand some more offensive YD, the very best offense in the Cape League to this point in the season's youth. Meanwhile, the Commodores defensively on the pitching side, while it may be their best strong suit as a team, they're not jumping off the page either defensively, yet they've kept themselves in this game with the very best.
Yeah, done a really nice job of shutting things down after the rocky start from Carson Montgomery and really putting together a really strong performance again, coming off of the shutout in their last game. And without that first inning, they're in a very similar spot here, but momentum's on the side of YD with the heart of their order coming up. This is a massive spot for Rio Britton.
Biggest spot of the game for the Commodores defensively, taking on the heart of this order, as you mentioned, partner. That's Zach Surdenik. I've been Matt Venezia. Destiny Sanchez has been with us as well. The first pitch from Britton is a good breaking ball, cut on over the top and missed by Max Vera. Got gunned down after he reached on a base hit from Walker Yannick, who is the new backstop tonight for the Commodores. Ross Highfill, the understudy. The 0-1. Big hook there. He brought out the banana right there. It's 0-2.
Hat started to get a little crooked on the head after that pitch there. A little Fernando Rodney-esque.
I was thinking the very exact same thing. Rodney spent his time mostly with the Tampa Bay Rays, but very well known around the league. He gives him 3 breaking balls in a row. It's cut on and missed. Rio Britton with a big strikeout to begin the bottom of the 8th.
That's the way you want to start it. Now, if you can get through Hunter Hines here and then Ryan Stafford, who's 3 for 3, you got to feel really good about where you're at in terms of getting momentum back on the side of the doors.
Strikeout number 1 for Rio Britton defensively today. In his very first appearance with Falmouth here today out of NC State, as you mentioned in the previous inning, Zach, taking on Hunter Hines, has all the offense. And his big bat wearing number 44 in white. Didn't like the call there, though, on the inside. It was a no-doubter to deep right center way back in the first inning. You had the call for that one, partner.
That was a really nice swing. Got a pitch to hit and hammered it.
0-1. A check of the swing. He did not go on a spiked breaking ball from Britton. 1-1 with 1 away.
Yeah, if you throw that breaking ball, that's where you want to throw it, or you want to throw it maybe front door. You got to keep it off of the middle of the plate here to Hines.
Coming set from the stretch is Rio Britton. He lifts and goes. He puts in the fastball. This one's popped up. There may be a play on it here for Gorson moving in foul territory, and it'll get probably about 2 or 3 lawn chair rows deep. That's the beauty of the Cape League. Regardless of where you go all around Cape Cod, the fans come in numbers, and there's bleachers here, several of them to be exact. Yet a lot of fans bring their own lawn chairs and set up shop with their blankets and all that. Probably a lot of blankets tonight. It is a little windy and cold today. Once we get into July, though, I think we'll start seeing more of the short sleeves from the visiting sections and all that. The 1-2 on the way. Breaking ball drops it in there for a backwards K. Rio Britton, 2 strikeouts to begin the bottom of the 8th from the big lefty.
Britton looks good. Doing a nice job making his debut here for Falmouth. See if we can keep it going.
Ryan Stafford steps in. He's been the only guy. I guess if you're including Hunter Hines, he has done the damage with that 3-run shot. But Stafford here has not been retired. 3 at-bats, 3 singles. And had a good spot to lead off the 6th inning last time up. Fell behind 0-2, but was still able to find a base hit. From the stretch, 0-1 pitch from Rio Britton on the way. Goes with a breaking ball. Yannick liked the pitch there and missed away. 1-1 now. You mentioned the hitless at-bats, many of them from Stafford, but he's having himself a day here with 3 knocks. Pitch here inside. It's a fastball. 2-1 now.
Yeah, this is just the second appearance for Stafford this season. Started 0 for 5, now 3 for 3, balancing himself out. Had a solid season for the Mustangs of Cal Poly. Trying to transition that here to the Cape.
2 balls and 1 strike from Britton. He lifts the leg and fires a breaking ball. That's been his best pitch so far in the young part of his outing. That one drops in there on the outer half for a strike. 2-2 now. Britton trying to do it all himself here with the deuces wild in the bottom of the 8th. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out in a 3-3 ball game here for Falmouth trying to get out of the 8th. The pitch on the way from Rio Britton. Did he check his swing? A look down. Yes, he did. A very late delayed call behind the plate from Jeff Merzel. It's a swinging strikeout. 3 of them in the inning for Rio Britton. And we go to the 9th, still deadlocked at 3. The Commodores bats coming up looking to give themselves the lead. And we'll be right back here on the Commodores Radio Network. Top of the 9th, getting ready to go underway. It's 3-3 here in YD, but around the Cape, Destiny Sanchez will update us. Destiny.
Thanks, Matt. The Bourne Braves are beating the Wareham Gatemen 5-0 at the top of the 4th. The Brewster Whitecaps lead the Hyannis Harbor Hawks 3-0 at the bottom of the 3rd. And the Hartwich Mariners and the Orleans Firebirds are scoreless at the top of the 2nd. And the Cotuit Kettleers and the Chatham Anglers are in pregame currently.
Chatham always starting late over there in the east part of the Cape, one of the very more east parts you have here on Cape Cod. The beautiful lights over there.
Yeah, we get to check that place out on Saturday.
Yes, we do. Very much looking forward to one of the most historic ballparks, definitely on the Cape, but even especially here in the U.S. in terms of summer ball leagues and where a lot of famous ball players who move on to the major league level have played some of their games. But despite the cool field, Chatham near the basement of the East Division, a tough start for the Anglers here this year. 2 wins, 3 losses, and a tie. Exactly where the Commodores stand to this point in the year, just on opposite sides of the bracket. So now stepping in for Falmouth, it is John Spikerman. Looked at a strike 3 called on a breaking ball on the outer half away from him in the left-handed batter's box. We begin the top of the 9th inning. Still tied at 3. Spikerman chops one foul. Looked like he chopped it off himself a little bit. Grimacing as that one may have gotten him just a bit. 1-2 now.
Spikerman, the switch hitter, has stayed continuously from that left side as YD has yet to bring in a left-handed pitcher, so continuing to get that left-handed swing some work.
Ida from the wide and the pitch. That one is taken. A nice take there behind from John Spikerman. He almost thought about it. It's almost like the bat kind of just dropped a little bit off his shoulders, but he never actually started moving it through the strike zone. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Spikerman. This is a breaking ball. It's the same result as his previous at-bat. He stands and looks a little bit at where it ended up and now walks back to the dugout. Spikerman not happy with that outcome. It's back-to-back strikeouts for him, and that'll bring in Nate Humphreys.
Well, it's the same pitch in the same spot, and unfortunately for Spikerman, he got the same result.
So now it's Nate Humphreys. 2 strikeouts for him to this point. He did have a sacrifice bunt given up that helped the Doors tie it up. First pitch swinging. This one's given a ride out to center. Backing up is Jenkins Cowart, and he will make the play. 1 pitch, and that one retires Humphreys with 2 gone. It is Gavin Keelan, who's had himself a tremendous day down in the 9th spot. He's got 2 hits, was able to swipe a bag in his last try, and he was credited with the RBI that tied this ball game up.
Well, you don't want to get to this point yet, but you do have to think about extra innings here as well with 2 outs in the 9th, and that extra inning runner is your last recorded out. Both Gavin Keelan and Joe Redfield on deck, and even DeBarge after that, if it gets that far, are all guys that you would want to have there. They're good base runners, and they're all quick.
The 1-0 here. Breaking ball, got the outer half for a strike. And yes, to continue off that note, partner, you have a lot of speed, as you mentioned, so whoever is the last out, should we go to extras, will be the runner on second. A lot of speed to have to contend with in benefit of Falmouth.
And look, Ida's out for his 3rd inning of work here. Rio Britton looked really good in the last inning. I wouldn't be surprised if they send him back out, but Paul Manzani's also warming in the pen for Falmouth.
He's been Falmouth's best relief arm to this point in the year. 2 balls and 1 strike. This one's chopped by Keelan to his opposite second baseman. Day on the run will make the play on the infield grass. The Doors go quiet. 1, 2, 3. They're going to have to put up another 0. It would be 8 in a row to try to send this thing to extras, with YD having other ideas trying to walk it off here in the bottom of the ninth. It's still 3-3 here on the Commodores Radio Network. Six, seven, 8 for the home team. It'll be Xander Darby, Jacob Jenkins, Cowart, and Brady Day due up, taking on Rio Britton, who's ready for his third inning of work.
Except for it won't be Xander Darby starting things off. It is a pinch hitter, Will King. He had 2 pinch hits, or a hit in his pinch hit at bat, and then another hit after pinch hitting against the Commodores. Last time, he actually leads the Cape League in hitting. 500 average, 9 for 18.
Pretty good bat to have in there against a Rio Britton to this point. The first pitch, chopped foul. It is worth noting for broadcasting purposes that the last time YD played, they overcame a 4-run deficit to Harwich. A 3-run deficit, putting up 4 in the bottom of the ninth to walk off the Mariners in their last win. So they have done it before, and very recently. The pitch here, this one's driven out to deep left center. Coming on the run is Lavalette. That was a good barrel, but right at the left fielder for Falmouth, one away.
Yeah, just got it a little bit in on the hands. He tried to turn on that fastball. Got to it quickly, but not quick enough, and just pulled it to Lavalette.
So now Jacob Jenkins Cowart, his first game here on the Cape season. He participated with ECU in the Charlottesville Regional. Ultimately, East Carolina would fall in that one. And now Virginia participating in the College World Series out in Omaha.
Not anymore.
Not
they just
anymore.
got knocked out by TCU today. 4-3.
Haven't looked since we've been here, but my partner Zach Surdenik, the baseball fanatic, keeping us updated with that one. This pitch misses low, a ball and no strikes to Jenkins Cowart. That fastball inside, not really sure where it missed. It was a good-looking pitch. 2-0 now, with Britton falling behind the big center fielder who started in this game out in left. He's now moved over to center because of a substitution that brought Christian into the game. 2-0 now to Cowart. He's going to line this one. That's a base hit right up the middle. Jacob Jenkins Cowart reaches for the first time tonight, and the winning run for YD is on first base.
And this real good crowd is starting to pick up here. Getting into it.
The Commodores trying to do their best version of keeping up with the big dogs right now. A team in Falmouth looking to even up its win total with the losses. Falmouth's only 2 wins on the year on enemy ground. Harwich and Brewster. And now Britton's pitch. It's a breaking ball top of the zone. It missed to Brady Day. Grounded out to the shortstop with the shift on. That was DeBarge who made the play to the right of the second base bag. Rio Britton gets the sign and gets the call from Walker Smith. A look to to first where Cowart is. Showing bunt, not getting it down. That's going to be a strike. A ball and a strike. Every Red Sox, except for the coaching staff, pretty much up on the fence of the dugout right now, looking on to see what could come of this opportunity here in the ninth. No offense from YD since the very first inning, a 3-run home run from Hunter Hines. 7 consecutive zeros put up on the board.
No runs for either side since the top of the fifth when Falmouth was able to tie things on that sac fly.
Pitching has dominated, as we just saw a cut-on miss opportunity from Britton, and now he's got a chance to put him away. Left on left, the pitch and the leg kick from Brady Day. This one's up and in and misses, and not only that, it gets away from Yannick, and now that'll allow the base runner, Cowart, to move on to second. So a base hit here could certainly do the job for the home team YD Red Sox.
You've got some good arms in the outfield, but yeah, base hit to the outfield, unless it's hit really hard right at somebody, will probably end this thing.
Bonzani is still warming. You do have another lefty coming up, though, should the game extend to that point. A look to second, and now the pitch on the way, and just barely casting his hands out there to get contact. It's put straight back and foul by Brady Day. Double play depth is the middle infield of Kyle DeBarge and Gavin Keelan for Falmouth, pinching the bag at second. And in normal depth are Condon and Gorson at the corners.
Condon looking right into the sun, too, as it's setting. Right in the eyes of the first baseman.
A couple looks to second. Britton goes, trying to get the call on the backwards K and does not. You and I are in disbelief on that one, and the count is full.
Yeah, I think the Commodores dugout really thought so. That was close, trying to go the front door breaker. This is going to be a big 3-2 pitch. I'm guessing you're going to see the heater. See if they can catch up to it.
Jacob Christian awaits on deck should he be given the opportunity. 3 balls, 2 strikes with 1 away. Jacob Jenkins Cowart at second. The pitch from Britton on the way. This one spiked. And Yannick's going on the throw to third. Not a good idea by Jacob Jenkins Cowart. He's gunned out. It got away from the catcher, Yannick. I don't think Cowart knew how far away that one got from Yannick. It really was not that far, Zach. And the Commodores, with a great effort, the walk does move Brady Day to first, but you do get the lead runner at second out. It's a runner on first with 2 away.
Yeah, you get bailed out there in that spot. A good throw from Yannick, but Jenkins Cowart has to see where that baseball is. He's got a great view of it at second base and just thought he could get there, and Yannick with a cannon.
So now Rio Britton works with 2 gone. First pitch here is a slider missing low and away. Deuce Gorson a little tight to the third base bag. The pull side of the batter, Jacob Christian. The middle infield back to normal depth. If anything, Gavin Keelan is actually playing a little bit tight to the second base bag. More in the traditional shortstop hole is Kyle DeBarge. Fastball here misses inside, 2-0. Rio Britton and the rest of the Commodore dugout not too happy with that call.
Yeah, Britton just kind of gave it a look and was like, all right. But, yeah, it's been tight. But it's been tight both ways.
He's been very calm, cool, and collected up there on the mound in the southpaw position. You mentioned the hat worn on sideways here as he comes from the stretch and lifts the leg. This one popped up. Will there be a play on it for Condon? It looks like it's going to get into the dugout area, and it does. Not able to make the play. The first strike of the at-bat picked up, 2-1 now.
Just trying to shut this thing down and put Jacob Christian as that extra innings runner for YD and get things to extra innings where Keelan would start at second and the top of the order would be coming up for Falmouth. If Christian's retired, it would be the same exact situation for YD with the 9-hitter on the base paths and the top of the order awaiting.
2 balls and 1 strike. Still work to do here in the bottom of the ninth to even think about extras, as this one is a slider low and in. Missing in the dirt for a ball. 3 balls, 1 strike. Rio Britton takes his glove off. He's going to adjust the baseball here, try to get a better feel for it. A lick of his fingers there on the left hand, and now he'll hold the baseball with his glove on his right hand. Awaiting the sign, he comes set at the belt. A long look to first, and now he lifts the leg. The 3-1 pitch, this one's popped up. Foul straight back behind us. Is it going to get a car?
It's not. It's going to get a tree. And some kids are going to swarm for that one, but sets up a massive pitch here. With the runner moving, a ball in the gap could win this game for YD. Huge pitch for Britton.
A lot of speed. Brady Day at first base. He will be going on this pitch, so certainly a ball in the gap could very well do it. The 3-2 pitch on the way. It's a fastball up, spinning out of the way is Christian. He's going to work a full count walk. And now you got to worry about the threat of a base hit. It's second and first with 2 away.
Now, how long do you let Britton go here? He's been really good, but he's thrown 40 pitches in 2 2/3. You have one of the best back-end bullpen guys in the league warming in Paul Manzani. I think they're going to at least give him Casey Cook, but a base hit wins this game for YD.
I was going to say, Zach, I mean, from where this inning started, 6 consecutive lefties, and now there's one in the box with one awaiting, so you could wait for the righty, but that would be a situation with the bases loaded, and you don't even want to think about having that opportunity come up. I think
even then, you can't get to the right-handed hitter with Martinez on deck and 2 on.
Right.
It's
right.
It's going to be a left-handed hitter. Just got to retire him.
We'll see what Britton does here. He's behind in the count on that breaking ball, missing inside. A ball and no strikes. A couple looks to second from Britton. Now he lifts the leg and goes. It's a breaking ball on the ground. A play at it for short. DeBarge tried to do it himself. He did not get the call. And now they got the man in a pickle at third. They're going to try to run him down. Yannick running up the third baseline. They've got him in the pickle. That's Jacob Jenkins-Carrick. Excuse me, no, it's not. He got tagged out. And now at home, it's Brady Day. And my goodness, a mouthful right there from us. Brady Day got himself in a weird situation. It should have been the bases loaded with 2 out. And to kind of recap what just happened, it was a routine ground ball for Kyle DeBarge. And instead of flipping to Gavin Keelan for the routine 6-4 putout, he was actually beaten to the base by Jacob Christian. So he was called safe. The bases would have been loaded. And then Brady Day thought better of it and tried to get risky, as did Coward, who got thrown out at third, Zach. Got in a pickle, and the Commodores leave that crazy inning with the game still tied at 3.
Yeah, I mean, there's not much you can say about it there, except for that the Commodores are lucky to be alive in this game right now. And let's see if they can take advantage.
So they're going to call it a base hit to Casey Cook, who it was a routine ground ball again. It looks like it's a base hit. You would think that should have been a routine 6-4, and he reaches on an error, I guess.
And they do give him the fielder's choice, which is what it should be there.
Okay.
No out is recorded, but the shortstop chooses to go to second base there, and so it is a fielder's choice, and then the out and the rundown that ends the inning.
My goodness. Some Sudoku pretty much being played in here with our scorebooks right now, trying to figure out the combinations of everything. And we will just keep it here as we get ready for extra innings, the second affair the Commodores have had in needing extra baseball. For a rundown of how this works, the last recorded out of each inning will go up on second base, and in this case, it will be Gavin Keelan for the Commodores. So he will go to second base with 1, 2, 3 due up for the visiting Doors. That's Joe Redfield leading it off. And again, out there once more, Blake Ida for his 4th inning, starting his 4th inning of work. He came in the 7th and has worked 3 scoreless since. And he'll get the top of the order for Falmouth. You'd like to put up a run here and then hold on defensively. Would have to imagine, after all that work from Rio Britton, that it would be Paul Manzani coming in there.
Yeah, you would think so. I'd be very surprised if it's anybody else, but you got to get at least one run across here with Joe Redfield up. And a new right fielder out there right now.
That's right. There is a new right fielder out there defensively.
And a lot of shifting here because it's a new third baseman as well, which you saw because of the change in Will King coming into pinch hit. And so the second time that the Commodores have met the Red Sox, and the second time where we've had a lot of defensive changes.
Oh, yeah. The Pens are getting a workout today, as is my writing utensil here as we get ready to go for the 10th. Showing button, pulling it back is Redfield. It was a breaking ball in. A nice take there from Joe. Grounded out to second base last time up. He's got a couple of those today. 0 for 3 officially in 4 at-bats. He walked back in the 4th, scored on it. That was on the Lavalette base hit. 1-0 now to Redfield, tonight's right fielder for Falmouth. The pitch from Ida showing bunt. He lays it down. This will allow Keelan to go to third. And not a very good throw from Ida, but still getting there was Hunter Hines, leaning back towards the inside part of the bag. So with 1 away, there is a runner on third for Falmouth with Kyle DeBarge coming up.
Now here is a big spot. You have to put the ball in play. You can't afford a strikeout. something in the air and something to the outfield. Keelan has good speed. Give him a chance to run. At the very least, get your one run here. And then allow a guy like Paul Bonzani to come out and try and shut it down.
He's done very well at doing that thing you just said, shutting it down. Immaculate inning on the opener stands out as the most unique play this season defensively for the Doors.
Yeah, 3 1/3 innings pitch and 8 punch-outs. And if you're trying to strand an inherited runner, the strikeout is your best friend, and Paul Bonzani's your guy.
So it's Kyle DeBarge, 2 base hits for him in the game. Looks for one here. This one's driven out to pretty deep center field. We'll see if Keelan will tag. Waiting underneath it is Jenkins Cowart. They're going to test his arm. Running hard is Gavin Keelan. The throw is a little bit offline. A sliding head first slide, and the Commodores have taken the lead here in the 10th.
That was a really strong throw from center field, but Keelan got a good jump, and he puts on the burners to just get in ahead of that throw. Now you've got the lead. You want to try to add more here in this inning if you can, but if not, then you go to a guy like Bonzani to shut things down and see if you can get out of here with a win.
So the Doors have taken the lead because of that run that was starting at second base. The base runner, Gavin Keelan, does not count as an earned run of the line of Ida. And now the bases are completely empty for Charlie Condon, tonight's first baseman for the Commodores. Reached on a walk last time. Had a base hit back in the 6th, officially 1 for 3 today. The 0-1 to Condon, off the plate and away. A nice take there by the big, tall 6'6" right-hander.
And Condon, Lavalette, this part of the order can do some damage if they can keep this inning alive.
The 1-1, Condon sharply foul along the third base line. And he's behind 1 and 2. A nice job here by Ida to get ahead of the big slugging bat for the Commodores. 25 home runs this year for Georgia, has 1 for Falmouth this year. It was a grand slam against this same team a few days back against YD. That was a 14-6 loss for the Commodores after tying it up with that big swing. Very, very different ball game here with the first run being scored since the top of the 5th inning now. It's 4-3 Falmouth. The 2-2. Condon rips this one. That's going to be a base hit up the middle. Charlie's got 2 today. And on a sharp line drive, there's a 2-out base runner for the Commodores on the team's 11th hit of the day.
Just keeping the train moving and bringing it up for Lavalette. He's already got a pair of hits, and he can add a number to the scoreboard here with one swing of the bat. Try and give Falmouth an insurance run here in the top of the 10th and take a little of the pressure off of Paul Bonzani.
So now it is Jace Lavalette, as we talked about. The big left-handed slugger steps in out of Texas A&M. Has driven in 2 of the Commodores' 4 total runs today on that RBI 2-run swing back in the 4th. It was a base hit into left center field. Showing out of the windup is Ida, but then when he comes set, he goes back into the stretch. This pitch, though, is jammed on Lavalette, going foul, slicing away. It'll one-hop and get over the fence, the short fence out there in foul ground of left field. And it's 0-2 now to Lavalette.
Just got a battle here. We've seen teams try to attack Lavalette with either the high fastball or the low fastball to try and put him away. We'll see if Ida goes to that here or if he goes off speed.
Waiting on deck is Walker Yannick. On the 0-2 to Lavalette. The pitch, fastball off the plate and away. Nice take there from Jace.
Yeah, just trying to see if he'd reach at it, but Lavalette disciplined in there and gets himself another pitch.
Only 1 hit for Lavalette through his now entering his 5th at-bat of the game. Went 0 for 4 in his first stint with the Commodores the other night against Brewster.
Yeah, he's done a nice job. Put together some good swings today. Has the 2 RBI single and just keeping things moving at the plate.
2 balls and 2 strikes with 2 away. Checking his swing, he did not go on the breaking ball low and away. And it's now a full count offering. And Condon, I mean, he's 6'6". I wouldn't say he's the quickest guy in the world, but he does move well. He'll have a head start here.
He stole 3rd in that win over Harwich. That allowed him to come in as the winning run.
Coming set is Ida. Condon will be on the move, not being held, and now he goes. This one is fouled off, the breaking ball there given to Lavalette. He'll walk around out of the batter's box and reorganize himself. Taking his helmet off and putting it back on now.
Yeah, Condon getting his steps in a little bit. He'll be back on the move again.
Yes, he will. He's probably hoping this one can get down or be out so that he doesn't have to keep doing it. He'll have a second go at it here as Ida will come set on the mound. A couple looks and now he goes. This one is again sliced and spoiled foul. Nice battle working here for Lavalette.
Condon was on his horse there too. He was going. He's trying to make sure that anything in a gap can score him from first base.
2 for 4 today is Lavalette. 2 base hits today. Stepping into the box here, 3-2 with 2 gone. Condon goes again. It's a fastball inside. We've seen a couple of those late calls behind the plate. This one's left in there and taken for a ball. And now the Commodores, a couple of 2 outs and base runners here, giving Walker Yannick's big bat an opportunity here to try and find some more insurance.
And that was something that was met with a lot of disbelief from this crowd here at Red Wilson Field. But Lavalette knew it right away. He was on it and able to work that walk. A really good battle and a big spot for Yannick.
Walker Yannick has an opportunity now. A base hit could score Condon to try to extend the Commodores' lead here in the top of the 10th inning. Falmouth already with the lead. This one's chopped to third, and doing it himself unassistedly is Darby. But not before the Commodores are able to bring in that run from second that you get to start extra innings. YD will have the same chance to try and find the equalizer. And should they complete that effort, it would be a tie ball game with a chance to win if they score 2. The Doors trying to hope for this latter opportunity of keeping them at 0 and winning this ball game. We'll let you know who's coming out on the other side of the break here on the Commodores Radio Network. Ready for the bottom of the 10th inning. Paul Bunzani is the arm coming in relief of Rio Britton. This is a save opportunity for Mr. Bunzani, and he's been the go-to arm for Falmouth. He's definitely been the best relief pitcher used so far this season.
Yeah, Bunzani and Casey Hunt have dominated at the back end of the bullpen. The numbers for Bunzani speak for themselves. 2 appearances, 3 1/3 innings pitched, 1 hit, 8 strikeouts. And in his last outing against YD, 1 1/3 innings pitched, no hits, no runs, and 3 strikeouts. He's been really good, put up good numbers at Southern Illinois this year, and he can get up to 97, 98 with that heater. We'll see if he tries to use it here in this at-bat against Martinez. Not necessarily the guy you would think you'd want up if you're trying to bunt here to move over a runner.
Martinez walked twice in 2 tries to begin the game, and then a couple of fly ball outs since. So it is Casey Cook on second base, with Anthony Martinez stepping in right down to the wire here, with Falmouth trying to hold off the big bats of YD, the very best team in the Eastern Division, with the Commodores in the 4th spot in the West. This would be a massive win for a team trying to get back to 500. First pitch here, fastball in from Bunzani, misses for a ball. To Anthony Martinez. Hunter Hines, 3-run shot in the first inning. A ton of zeros since from YD. Falmouth last scored in the 5th before that 10th inning extra runner scoring. This one's popped up, heading in foul territory. No play on it for Deuce Gorson. It's the first strike of the at-bat, picked up 1-1.
Yeah, it looks like Martinez is going to swing here, and it's a risky decision, but one that could pay off for YD if he's able to come through with a hit here, because it'd bring a man on base and be the winning run for YD.
Bunzani from the stretch comes set, a long look to second where Casey Cook resides. Kind of dancing and swaying back and forth. Picture, this one's driven on a line sharply. Spikerman didn't have to move. They're going to test his arm. They did for a second, and now getting back was Casey Cook, and a beautiful throw back in, but a line out that at first off the crack of the bat had to find where Spikerman was, but it was right at him, one away.
There's a few different times where I've thought guys have had the best arm in that outfield. I don't know that anybody's topping that throw from Spikerman. Are you kidding me? That was a rocket.
On a frozen rope on one hop to Deuce Gorson, just pulling him a little bit off the first base bag, but with how sharply that one was coming in, Casey Cook made the right choice to stay put at second base. And that now steps in Max Vera. Struck out last time. At the very top of hits in the Cape League. He's got a good chance here, though. A base hit would probably tie this ball game. Bunzani trying to retire him with the first pitch in there for a strike. There's 2 outs away are the Doors from finding a way in extra innings to take down YD. Coming set, and now the pitch from Bunzani. This one's chopped. It's actually cut off. And that's going to be made out there by DeBarge. It looked like he got jammed a little bit, did Vera, and that one stayed in on the infield, 2 gone.
It did, and that's exactly what you need, because now you're 1 out away. That runner's still standing at second base, but boy, you should get your popcorn out at home. Hunter Hines stepping up to the plate. Paul Bunzani on the mound. This is going to be fun.
We've said it a million times on the broadcast, all of the offense coming from Hunter Hines, and now there's going to be a pinch runner situation here as Casey Cook will come in back from the dugout, and they're going to send out some wheels there.
Yeah, Nick Mitchell out of Western Illinois, and he's got wheels. He can also swing it a little bit. Hasn't been in the lineup either game against Falmouth, but he's got some wheels at second base. Hines trying to tie this thing up.
So it is Mitchell replacing Cook at second. Hunter Hines does represent the game-winning run. A base hit would certainly tie the ball game. First pitch here, spiked. It gets away from Yannick. Going is Mitchell, and he will be there at third without a throw. And now a base hit certainly would tie this game. Not what you want to do there if you're Bunzani. Spiking one there, and Yannick could not keep it in front of him. 90 feet away from a tie game.
But with 2 outs, it's no harm, no foul there from Bunzani. You're still an out away from getting out of this unscathed, as long as you don't throw another one down there.
Falmouth trying to find a way here. The 1-0 pitch from Bunzani. Fastball low and away. You do have a right-hander on deck in Ryan Stafford, but he's 3 for 4 today. Do you want to take your chances in maybe working around Hines here to come up next? A pretty solid bat, despite it being a right-on-right, should they go that route. The 2-0 here to Hines. Swing and a miss. A healthy hack there at the fastball away, and it's 2-1.
The other thing you don't really want to do in terms of giving up the free pass is put the winning run on base for free. You need to make him earn it.
Well said. And we had the answer there as he cut on and missed there. They're going right at him. This one on the ground. Tough play on the run from DeBarge. It'll be a one-hopper into Condon. Not in time. The game is tied.
And that's where the wild pitch hurts you. Because without the wild pitch, that run doesn't come around.
Hunter Hines, not the quickest guy. The throw pulled Condon off the bag just a little bit. This game is tied. The winning run is aboard on first, and more importantly, the best case scenario for Falmouth is a tie now moving forward.
Yeah, YT guaranteeing themselves another point.
And that continues the trend that all of the offense has led on this bat of Hunter Hines to this point. He's got all 4 RBIs for YD. And now stepping in, the pitch on the way. In there for a strike at the top of the zone. It is Ryan Stafford. We mentioned that he's got 3 hits and 4 tries. Was retired with a swinging strikeout last time up. Was a pitch in the dirt that he didn't think he went on. But now he's got a spot here. The pitch on the way. Breaking ball diving away. Taken for a ball. 1-1 now from Bunzani. There is a pinch runner at first base as well.
Mitch Voigt over there out of Michigan.
We saw him in the starting lineup in the matchup at the Gov. A ball and a strike. This one foul over our heads here, and it's 1-2. The Commodores 1 strike away from getting that best case scenario. In working a tie here, both teams have scored their free extra runner given at the top of each inning at second base. The Commodores threatened, though, with 2 base runners and 2 outs worked. And now a threat of their own here is YD. Swing and a miss, and that's it. So the tie is worked. Bonzani walking off kind of casually. I don't know what else you would do there, because that ends the ball game without a winner. Both teams get a point in the standings, but Falmouth had its first try, being the road team, to earn the win, earn the save if you're Paul Bonzani, and that's not what happened despite a couple tries at it.
It's not. Both teams are going to feel like they should have won this game. That wild pitch allowed that runner to move on up and took away the chance there to get the win. But, at the end of the day, you earn yourself a point, and you're back into that tie. If the scores hold right now where they are around the league, that would set up a 3-way tie for second place in the division, and Falmouth would be right in the thick of it.
4-4 is the final. The Commodores have 11 hits, no errors, 4 runs, 8 hits, and 1 error for YD here tonight. And again, we saw some good pitching in this ball game as well. Carson Montgomery gave up the 3-run shot, but from Logan Van Treek, Rio Britton, and then Paul Bonzani, who nearly was able to complete the effort despite having to work with that extra runner given to YD. The Commodores pitching staff put together a solid effort today. So just like that, the Doors move to 2-3-2. YD will move to 4-2-1. That is their first tie on the season. The Commodores already with 2. And after all that, we'll go to a report from Destiny Sanchez.
Thanks, Matt. We were able to see a little bit more of that push that I've been mentioning. I've been wanting to see from the Doors for pushing for that lead. It's just coming off finishing towards the end that we're lacking to see. Like you said, both teams could have seen themselves winning this game tonight, but we also need to take into account there are some guys that literally have just came last night and that were on this lineup. So still having some adjustments here and there, but once the bats can get working, we may have some winning ball games.
Well said, Destiny. Yes, the Commodores have only won on the road, and after being down 3-0 early against the very best offense on the Cape this season, you were kind of thinking we were going to be getting run out of here relatively quickly. But then it was the bullpen that really kept the team in this game, allowed the offense to come back and, because of extra innings, even take the lead at one point in this ball game. But ultimately, the free runner given to YD came around to score as well, and that's where it ends. 4-4, partner.
Yeah, it's another tough one. We talked about it during the last tie that they never feel good for anybody. And at the end of the day, as I said a second ago, though, you get yourself a point. Those points can matter later in the season. Get a chance to get back at it at Hyannis tomorrow and try and continue to build on things.
My partner just said it. That's where our next broadcast will be, on the road at Hyannis. We'll try again from that ballpark, McKeon Park. Last time we were there, pouring rain stopped us just into the beginning of the 6th inning of work. And ultimately the game was canceled, but because Hyannis had the lead after 5 innings, it counts as a complete game, and the Harbor Hawks were given the win in what is a very congested middle part of the Western Division, with the Commodores hoping to get back to 500 tomorrow when that ball game begins at 6 p.m. That's all we have for you here on the road. The Commodores ended in a tie with YD, the very best in the East. Couldn't quite get the W, but a tie certainly works, gaining a point in the standings. For everyone here helping make this happen, for our sideline reporter Destiny Sanchez, my broadcasting partner Zach Surdenik, I have been Matt Venezia, wishing you so long and a good night from Red Wilson Field. We hope to see you tomorrow on the broadcast in Hyannis.